Lucky Lefty Podcast, Honora Boys. We are in the building, and we are brought to you by Honora Whiskey, HonoraWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey, HonoraWhiskey.com. Super Bowl 60 on Sunday. I'm sure a lot of people are going to partake. And if you do, you must make sure that you do it
responsibly.
Let's get it lit. Lucky Lefty Podcast, Honora Boys. I am Sean Davis, SD2 Mics, that guy right there, the original Lucky Lefty himself, Malik ZAIRE. As always, brought to you by Honora Whiskey. Bleav Network, that's where you can find us on the audio side, every day. Bleav Network, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, lock in with us. And then we are presented by FanDuel. As I mentioned earlier, Super Bowl 60, which has given us the most boring week of media thus far that I've ever experienced for a Super Bowl. However, if you go over to FanDuel, FanDuel.com, and download the FanDuel app, you will find the New England Patriots taking on the Seattle Seahawks, and the Seahawks are installed as a 4.5-point favorite, and it has been locked in for over a week at 4.5. I don't see it moving unless we hear some news about the shoulder of Drake May being a little worse than most think. You can find that, prop bets, and much more over at FanDuel. You can download the FanDuel app or simply go to FanDuel.com. If you have a GTB question, get it in. Super chat, get it in. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube. Hit that thumbs up. Helps with the views. Like us, and then share, let everybody know. Lucky Lefty Podcast. We are the home of the misguided passion and forever committed to making sure that we spin it different. Left, how you feeling?
Good, man. You know, trying to find some interest in this Super Bowl week. Basketball has actually been pretty entertaining, watching Darren Peterson. And just all together, I think Elijah Arenas got a chance to be a lottery picker. So, I mean, it's good to see American basketball players looking good in basketball. Cooper Flagg's doing a good job.
See, I told you about a month ago to stop panicking about the 2028 squad. I told you to stop panicking. It's way too much talent in the United States.
It's a lot of talent.
To be worried about the rest of the world. And in 4 years, Jokic will be 4 years older in 4 years.
Yeah.
Now Wemby, it's going to be a problem if he stays healthy.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be around a while. He's going to be
a problem. He's going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem. But, you know,
I can't believe you traded your greatest point guard and Kobe White today. What's up with that? Y'all just sent him back home?
You think he's so good? What did they get back? A scrap
heap pennies. I got pennies. That's what I'm saying. I got nothing for it.
A scrap heap of metal. That's exactly what they got back for him. A scrap heap. Hey, we got Coach Ivy's son, though. Coach Ivy's going to be coming to the shop.
Okay. Jaden I didn't see Jaden. Okay. He got traded.
We picked up Jaden in a trade with the Pistons.
He had to
trade with the Pistons and Timberwolves.
Him getting hurt was how he missed that window in Detroit, I think. Because he's still hurt, ain't he?
Yeah. He's I think he missed like the first 16 games or something like that, and then spot here and there in the rotation. He needed a fresh start.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I want to say last week, Coach Ivy was up there. The week after they had the day after they had a disappointing loss, she went to Detroit to watch them. So,
oh my goodness, what's going on with their team? They just Hannah and nothing. It's tough to see them have no help, but they're not worse than the men's basketball team. I don't know. I keep watching them lose all the games they should be winning. It's tough to watch that.
Well, once Marcus Burton went down, you knew it was a wrap.
Tough. It was tough.
It was a wrap. It was a wrap. And your best player is probably a true freshman. So
that's Illinois.
I don't know if the brother. I hope Coach Shrewsbury can survive.
Both of them. I mean,
no, Nia is good. She's good. But Coach Shrewsbury, I don't know.
You talking about you don't know now?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if Shrewsbury can survive this one. For real, I'm keeping it a buck. I just don't know. On today's show,
I heard though, so I don't know.
On today's show, we are going to look at the senior film of the newest member of the Notre Dame football program at quarterback. He was 2027's quarterback for that class. He reclassified. He is now part of the 2026 class, the second ranked class in the nation. And he officially signed today. I forgot that today was the February second signing day. This used to be the big day, bro.
Yeah.
This used to be the huge day. I actually miss National Signing Day being in February. I miss it. I really do.
Well, they got to sign. Kids got to sign early as they can get nowadays. You got to jump on some of these offers. I mean, they even got the whole situation that they'll pay you for a fake offer to get other offers. Oh, man. It's a tough world out here in the recruiting stuff.
Yeah, it's real tough, especially when you have teams like Illinois going to get semi-pro dudes from Europe just stocking up.
That's half your roster. BYU just signed Alvin Bailey.
Amari Bailey.
Chicago's
own.
Oh, what's up with Chicago's own getting traded for a bag of peanuts and Anthony Davis? What's up with Chicago players?
That's very interesting because now he's teaming up with Trey Young out there in D.C. I talked to my people out there in D.C. They're excited about that.
If he can
having
stay
Trey Young and AD. Yeah, he's not going to stay healthy. We can stop saying if he stays healthy because he's not going to stay healthy. He's not. I mean, it just is what it is. It is what it is. Let's jump into a little bit of film because we did cover Teddy Jarrard when he got the offer. You broke down his film, and that was his sophomore season. And now we're going to break down his junior season because he has no senior season because he'll be coming to Notre Dame when he graduates. So let's go to the junior film. He transferred to North Cobb High School.
So basically, he only played 3 years of high school?
Yes.
And he's graduating at, what, 16?
I would have to check his age.
He has to be a holdback to be doing this.
I'm not gonna say that. We don't know, so I'm not gonna pull that.
Well, I mean, it's not a bad thing. I mean, everybody's doing it, but he would be 17 going on 18 if he's reclassifying, right?
I don't know.
I'm just saying it's a good strategy. I mean, if you got the battle transfer quarterbacks, I'm sure getting a year. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, man, I think the kid looks good. It's just, gosh, what's going to make him special at the next level is decision making. He looks poised. Has a couple of nice levels to the football. He's not afraid to throw into windows, which is good confidence. So you can say that's sort of like a gunslinger, right? He's gonna try things. He looks like a big dude. Another Geno archetype of at least being 6'4", 200 pounds coming into college. I mean, I'm every day. I'm glad I wasn't recruited when Gino was here because my goodness, I mean, he's bringing in the tallest of tall, like basketball players in here. I don't know. Has Denbrock had a guy this big before? So that'll be interesting. Yeah, I knew. Okay, I knew he was. Yeah, it only makes sense that he's reclassifying 3 years in high school because he's already old enough, So might have to be a strategy I use for my own kids, but I mean, it works out. I obviously my biggest concern is, damn, you only had 3 years of high school football. That's worse than having a year or two of basketball and then going to the league. This is for a quarterback. I find that worse. If a quarterback going into college right now, I would say you have to be around 35, 40 games before you go to college, in my opinion. Only because maybe even more, just because you just need reps at that. This is a thing where it's about needing reps to develop the skill. So it's training can only take you so far because you can't train to do this stuff. You know what I mean? So limited amount of games and then knowing that you're going to go into college, probably not going to play for another 2 years. So he's going to go on possibly 3 years without playing. That's just a long game strategy where, reclassifying, I don't know how much sense it makes, unless they told you, yeah, you going to be R2 and you one throw away, which in theory is true, but I don't know. It's just it's interesting because it's like, okay, well, where's his? It's not like he's going into a desolate Notre Dame where he's reclassifying to save the program, go in day one starter, all of that stuff. With college football being so fast paced, how much can you trust Notre Dame to develop a guy for 2 years, 3 years? Because who's the guy behind CJ right now? Isn't that Toby Gerhard or something? Not Gerhard. I don't keep saying Gerhard.
Gerhard. You talking about that's the running back from Stanford.
I keep saying Gerhard. It is not Gerhard. Oh my goodness. Who's the guy behind CJ right now?
Blake Hebert, man.
Hebert. The Hubert and Gerhard kill me every time. Okay. So Blake Hebert.
Yeah, Hebert. Yeah.
He's there and he's been sitting there for about 2 years. So I don't know how Notre Dame is talking to these guys other than the dream of just being Notre Dame quarterback. But in an ideal world, I would see CJ coming back after this year. So that plus.
Is this a reaction to Marcus Freeman having to go to the portal twice? And now Notre Dame making up in their mind, we're just going to over-recruit the quarterback room because we know the more we have, we can find at least 2 guys we can depend on, and then we probably lose 2 guys to the portal eventually.
Yeah, I think that's just what it is at this point. You're just trying to stock up on whoever you can.
Because they're still going to fill that 2027 class with the quarterback.
Yeah, there's another guy coming after this. So
yeah.
It's like you reclassifying for what at this? I mean, I don't know how you're gonna play another competition out in this aspect because you're getting so far removed from guys having the experience of playing. Like, we'll say CJ plays this year, he'll potentially come back next year. So then that means the Herbert kid will be there.
You still have Blake Hebert. You still have Noah Grubbs, who was your.
That's who Noah. I forgot Noah Grubbs just committed, right?
No, he's been committed for over a year.
I'm sorry. I mean, he just got up to school or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So how does it work with him then? So he just signed. Oh man, this is crazy. Okay, hold on. One of these guys got to make a name for themselves. We don't have a shortage in quarterbacks, but I don't know how you make a name for yourself when you need this CJ thing to work for at least the next 2 years, this year, next year. So then that's right. You got Grubbs, who's the Gatorade Player of the Year. You know, he's 6'5". He no different in size than this kid Jarrard, right? Gosh, I gotta get these names right. My goodness, man.
Grubbs,
Jarrard.
There you go.
And then we had Gerard Parker.
Yeah.
But he was Jarrard Parker, the actor, or something like that. Maybe these are all the same guys. You know, that cloning thing may be real. But anyway, we got Hebert, Grubbs, and Jarrard, right?
There you go.
And Gerard's coming in next year.
No, Gerard's coming in this year.
In the summer. Grubbs is there now, right? And then Hebert has been there for 2 years.
This is his second year, his second spring.
This is second, okay. But Hebert's not second to CJ right now, is he?
He would have to be.
I mean, in theory, in terms of like guys in the room, he's the next up, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so then you got Hebert. Hold on. Okay, you got CJ this year, and Hebert will be the backup, essentially. And then the third would be Grubbs, essentially.
Or Jarrard. I mean, that's
okay. So because Jarrard gonna be there next year. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, and then we're bringing in a 27 guy.
Yes.
Who could be whoever, you know what I mean?
Who could actually come in early next off season.
But that's what I'm saying.
And if CJ stays,
if CJ stays,
that's quarterbacks.
Somebody's gonna leave. Somebody has to leave.
5 quarterbacks. Oh, definitely somebody's transferring next off season, I would think.
So yeah, that's my whole point.
Else,
somebody has to leave.
Or if CJ leaves, then you have a 4-way quarterback competition.
Yeah, there's no way. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. There is no way that what they're doing right now either has a plan or is sustainable. Or what are you telling these guys? What did you tell Jarrard to even reclassify? Going back to this interview, talking about, yeah, I'm finna be competing with CJ. That means you jump in 2 spots. I don't know how you do it. Only one football, 1 spot. And CJ supposed to win the Heisman, so he got 2 years locked up. What's the role for? We haven't even talked about Hebert. We was talking about Kenny. I see why Kenny left. Kenny said, "Oh no."
And see, I'm with you, Left. I'm with you. And shout out to Bitten by the Party Animal. Yo, I love that avatar, man. Animal's one of my favorite Muppets, though. Dude, I love Animal. Love Animal. He said, Malik, there would be a competition in 27, so all 3 would be fighting. That's the last thing I want in 27.
That's the last thing you want.
That's the last thing. I want somebody to establish themselves this year. As I'm the guy. I'm tired of quarterback competitions at Notre Dame.
Yes, that's all I'm saying. That's exactly.
I need a dude. I don't need 3 dudes like this last year, and we saw how he put CJ behind going into week 1. I don't need that going into next season and next spring.
That's basically what we're saying. Okay,
2 at the most.
2 at the most. 2 at the most. And hell, you don't even know the 2 you got. I mean, I remember Hebert coming in was pretty touted, right? I mean,
they stole him from Clemson. In that
you know what I think it is? I think it's because Gino bringing in the same type of dude. Maybe that's why I don't see no difference in who the horseman would be.
You're right. There is no Deuce Knight to be a changeup type quarterback
or any type of. There's no change up in any, like all 3 of these. Like the who is the dude that's like, I don't care what it is, I just want to win and all that. That was the Hebert kid, right? No. That was Jarrard.
Yeah, that was Teddy Jarrard.
He's the one that's like, I just want to win. I don't care how we how we do it.
Yep.
And then the GIBBS kid is like the 5-star or something, Gatorade. I don't know, man. I don't know what they're telling them. I don't know the plan. And really, I still don't know the development plan of Gino. Because we've only seen Gino coach CJ for 1 year, and he's been there for 4. Not CJ, but Gino. So he got a long way to go. I mean, the first 2 years you was chilling. The third year, you get your starter, but it's like a supporting role, you know. Now you jump from 2 years of chilling, 1 year of kind of getting him going. Now you have to get him a Heisman.
Yeah.
We have no backup plan. So how do you even do that? How do you find a backup when you have a guy that essentially has to be the this is what the Notre Dame offense is next year? That's a whole project. You know what I mean? Like, for the quarterback to be so important next year, we have a lot of questions to ask. And I think it is important to know who the backup is because, you know, Lord forbid, you can't go from – people are really saying we're winning all 12 games because we got the quarterback, Marcus Freeman, and the resources. If CJ was to go down for a shoe or something, where his shoe got completely torn, like some Zion, you know how Zion tore his shoe, had to come out. What if CJ tore his shoe and we put a whole reset? It's a whole reset. How does any of these guys prepare to go in there?
That was pretty extreme. The Zion Williamson comparison, tearing the shoe.
I mean, I don't want to say get hurt. You know, I'm trying to think of something that's
But no, he could literally be running towards the sideline, throw the ball, and twist his ankle. Like it could be.
Yeah, I don't even want to put that on him because it's that much importance on CJ this year. CJ can't even be regular. He's got to play at a high level. He can't do what he had last year and think we're going to win all these games and all this stuff is going to happen because we don't have this. So it's like, okay, what direction do you go when your backup hasn't sniffed the field, probably didn't get any reps last year in the competition that were significant, you know, while Kenny and CJ were going at it. He probably, you know, was treated like the stepchild. What happens? I mean, what do you even run? Because I'm sure whatever that backup role is, got to be is going to be, man, it's tough to think about. It is tough to think about because I don't know the difference between any of the three that we have. Hebert, Grubbs, and Jarrard are probably just three of the same thing. They all can kind of run a little bit. They all got, you know, some quirky throws. They can, and they all played on really good teams. Oh, man. Can you play two quarterbacks at one time? I mean,
I don't think we want to do that.
I don't know how you – if I was a quarterback right now, I wouldn't really know how to navigate if I wasn't the starter. Because then are you sourcing for other teams? You got to start looking at rosters. You're just sitting and wasting time away.
Well, I mean, it goes back to what you said. You're not coming. If you're Teddy Jarrard, you're not reclassifying unless you have your eyes on 2027.
Yeah, that's next year, right?
Yes, that's next year.
So they're telling
us you have
him that CJ's gone.
Unless you have a viable reason or have been given a reason to believe that you have a really good shot of being the starter in 2027, and you want to, it would make even more sense if Teddy Jarrard came in January it would really make sense. Because now you're getting a full spring. You're getting a full spring and getting a jump on the 2027 season.
Yeah, that's why I thought he would be coming in early after reclassifying. He just coming in like a regular 26 kid. So then it puts him in a space of what? Not getting no reps in the summer, pretty much. I mean,
he's going to start out on the opposite field. That's where he's going to start.
He might not even. I mean, because think about it. If Heber's 2, that means that GIBBS is on the other field. So, or I mean, because it's the summer, so you trying to put, you kind of got to get the roster together. So you're not just taking BS reps. So Teddy gonna be on the other field with GIBBS. I'm guessing if it's the summer, but if GIBBS is good, why can't he be 2? Because Hebert ain't played.
I would venture to say that Hebert will be the second quarterback on the first field.
Outright.
Unless he gets outplayed throughout
but
fall.
I don't think there's a way to do that, though. You know what I'm saying? I don't think there's a way to outplay your competition as a quarterback. Because how? I mean, CJ gonna play this year and probably next year. That's just a lock. I ain't.
Well, don't we want CJ to play well and not return? I think that's what most fans would love to see.
I don't think there's a case where he just leave. I mean, because he'll be eligible next year, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. What would he have to do to leave? He would have to go undefeated, win championship.
You know the dream scenario for Gino Guidugli?
CJ goes undefeated, wins the Heisman, gets the championship like Mendoza. And CJ leaves.
And Kenny has a great season. And CJ
Kenny does well.
Are both selected in the first round of the NFL draft.
That would validate.
That would be crazy for Gino Guidugli. Man.
Yeah.
Put that on your resume immediately.
Yeah. That would be cool.
I think CJ would be a top 3 quarterback if he plays well.
This year gonna be tough. Now there's a lot of QBs coming out.
Arch is going number 1.
They're
going to make it happen. They're going to make it happen, even if he doesn't deserve to be number 1.
He's number 1 for
Arch
sure.
Manning's going number 1.
Yes.
You got Dante.
You got Julian Sand. That's 3.
Yeah.
Then you got Sorsby will be out there. The Oklahoma Mateer will be out there.
Josh Hoover is going to have the
Stemmy from Signetti in there.
Yes.
It's going to be thick. And then you got the quarterback from LSU, the Arizona State dude.
Nah, I'm not sold on him.
I mean, it's just a lot of hype quarterbacks coming out next year. And I'm like, CJ would have to literally win the Heisman, go undefeated, have close to 4,000 yards. I don't know. I think it's so deep. It would make more sense if he had a good season and came back. If we don't win the championship,
because he would be the top guy in that next year.
In 28, which messes up our whole recruiting. That's why I was thinking further out, is just mess our recruiting stuff up, because unless you're banking on CJ cashing in on this year and dipping, which is, I think, hurts CJ development either way, because I mean, he only got 12 games, no playoff experience, one season. I mean, that ain't a lot to feel comfortable with, even if they're gassing you. At least Arch Manning put in the work, splitting time with Ewers, doing the whole, this is CJ's first year where he even getting the credit. Last year, he was in the same time last year, we was debating on who was going to play. So CJ ain't even got to drive the car for real. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got to spin the car around on the block, stunt to his friends. He's getting the controls down. So if he comes back 28, I think it sucks for our development in the room because now it puts Hebert at 3 years. He wasted his whole college career sitting at Notre Dame. So he might leave. Oh, man, that's tough. That's tough. I don't know. I don't know how you handle it. Because then what if CJ doesn't play, Heisman level great? Do we try anybody else? Like, do we even play around and fake put another quarterback in if he's not Heisman level? How does Geno even go about it? I guess if CJ go out there and be putting pedestrian numbers up.
And then you have to think about the 27 kid that they offer.
If CJ comes back, eventually you're gonna run out.
CJ comes back, he jumps into the conversation for the starting job in 28, especially if he's an early enrollee. So yeah, it is. Hey man, it will be an assembly line of a lot of quarterbacks throwing the ball. Yeah, but that's today's football, man. You stock up on youngsters and find your 2 guys out of the midst of 5 or 6, or you constantly go to the portal every year.
It would make more sense for us to do the portal thing just because if we can keep pumping out good recruiting classes and you can get a quarterback of any type of particular level from high school or transfer portal, because we snagged the best quarterback both years we needed one that came through the portal. Nobody's giving us credit for that. We snagged both of the top guys that were quarterbacks out of the portal before they could even get to the portal. Sam Hartman was playing in a game when they was 10. Oh, yeah, he's on his way to Notre Dame. This is before he's in a Wake Forest helmet. So Notre Dame has no problem getting a quarterback.
Yeah.
So they make more sense than Miami. Miami's run of getting a bunch of talent every year, we don't know how long that can last. We've proven for 4 years straight we can have the resources to dang near win it every year.
Yeah. I mean, so I get your point. Ken Gibbs is about to join us. I'm for recruitment, but if you're not going to get dudes and set a line of succession and we just have questions in the quarterback room, I feel what you're saying. There's no reason Notre Dame should not be getting. Teddy Jarrard is one of the top guys in the 27 class that reclassified, right? But every year Notre Dame should be getting dudes.
Because eventually Marcus Freeman's going to have to turn into Kirby and just get a walk-on and train him up because we can't showcase a quarterback in our program. That's the problem. We can't showcase a guy. We need to be like Ken Gibbs at NC State. They celebrate their quarterback. They said, you know what?
They have a dude, though.
We're gonna bring home up to North Carolina for you. They
have a dude.
And that's how you need to operate. Talk to your quarterback. What receivers you want? You want the ones back home? Okay, we're gonna get them. Bring them up here for you.
Yeah.
That's how Notre Dame need to be operating. I don't know how you get successful at quarterback at Notre Dame. You got to either wait in line, wait your turn, get lucky. The stars got to align. It's no communication like it is with CJ Bailey at North Carolina State, like it is with CJ Carr. You got to get that CJ thing lined up.
I feel you. Lucky Lefty Podcast, Sonora Boys. Go to Apple Podcast, Spotify. Courtesy of Bleav Network, we're presented by FanDuel, FanDuel.com. If you go over to FanDuel, Super Bowl 60, you will find the Seattle Seahawks installed as a 4.5-point favorite over the New England Patriots. And it's been locked in stone pretty much since both of the championship games ended. Seattle's been installed as a 4.5-point favorite. So, man, you can check it out. Go over to FanDuel, FanDuel.com, or download the FanDuel app. And we are pleased to welcome into the program our brother. And he's got some explaining to do. I don't know if he knows he has some explaining to do, but he's got some explaining to do as we welcome in Ken GIBBS, Locked On ACC, Locked On Wolfpack. First of all, how you doing, bro?
I'm great as always. I don't like to be ambushed. What I got some explaining to do for?
That's right. That's right.
What's going
We're not
on here?
ambushing you.
If I'm in enemy territory, let me know. I came in here with love. But
we're never enemies.
Y'all fellow Indiana coach Signetti, he set a bar when he said, "You don't go to milk and cookies." You don't go to, so if I'm walking in with milk and cookies and hugs, and I need to have my hands ready, let me know.
It's never that, Kate. You know it's never that, Kate. You know it's never that.
Sure. Listen, I'm just making sure because you know where we from. But somebody say, "Come outside," we not gonna jump you. What that mean? What that mean?
Oh yeah, you definitely get jumped. You definitely get jumped.
Step outside. They finna be on your head top. You finna see size, whatever Tim's flying at you from every direction. Oh my God, I didn't even know they made Tim's that big. Lord have mercy.
That's right. That's right.
What's going on? What do I have to answer for on this lovely Thursday?
I was gonna give you the milk and cookies first and just talk about the ACC teams on Notre Dame's schedule for 2026 before we got to, you explaining some things.
Okay, all right.
Because I think unless my memory's bad, I remember coming on with you and Dono, and you saying some things about why the ACC would choose to operate the way they chose to operate towards Notre Dame, but they ain't getting no money though. Because that was one of the reasons why you said who's gonna get the money, and lo and behold, Miami kept all the money. So now I'm trying to figure out, well, if Miami was kept keeping all the money, why was Jim Phillips acting a fool?
Okay, so in the ACC Success Program, the money is kept by the team that actually goes in terms of the money for that year. What I meant by the money still goes to the ACC from Miami winning is Miami is a full-time partner. Because Miami is successful, they will have more eyes on their ball games. Because Miami has more eyes on their ball games, that money goes to the ACC. It is not the direct, hey, because they're in the playoff, they're getting the money because the Success Initiative works how it works. And furthermore, let me also say this, that Success Initiative will likely not be in place in perpetuity because as we've seen, some of the teams that have already sued the ACC to get out are found to be nearly $1 billion in debt. So how they can find money to pay to leave when you're a state school that is nearly $1 billion, not $1 million, not $100 million, not $100 million, 10 times over. You're that much in debt and trying to leave. So I strongly believe that the ACC will reconsider the Success Initiative. But either way you cut it or slice it, Peacock and its viewership does not get the ACC any money. When Miami plays, if it is not on Peacock, the ACC gets paid by that.
You buying that, Lev?
Hey, listen, they need something when they sinking. They need something.
Buying that which is factual?
That's fair.
Facts?
And I agree with Indy Milton, fan, because that means that Notre Dame is the most important thing to the ACC from a money standpoint.
I'm not.
Because Florida State is what, $471 million in debt,
which is crazy.
$471 million. They need Notre Dame.
I'm confused as to what that does for the ACC. I'm confused as to, like, hear me out here. Yes, Florida State is in a ton of debt. That's because Florida State has been terrible stewards of their money. They were paying 3 coaches at once at one point. Like that's a thing. So don't get me wrong. Yes, I've told anybody who asks me, hey, do teams get a boost from playing Notre Dame or not? Sure, absolutely. A lot of brand recognition, if you find your way, if you find a way to win that ball game, you can solidify your standards as where you are in your place in the world by beating Notre Dame. But the money aspect of it, Florida State being in debt does not, like, Notre Dame's not going to sweep in and say, hey, y'all need a couple $100 million, here you go. That's not going to happen.
No, we'll do business. No, we'll call. We'll shoot a call. Say, hey, let's schedule a couple games. We'll figure a deal out. We'll bless.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Yeah, I find that very interesting, but I don't think that there is any significant trouble to be had here. But yeah, I'm a little confused on what needs to be explained about the conference wanting a full member to go to the playoffs. I'm a little confused there.
Well, I'm confused because you were saying it with your chest and making it seem as if the ACC was going to direct. So you're talking the indirect stuff today. Like, this is how it indirectly impacts the ACC. But see, you weren't talking about that. Your bravado was very direct. No, that's not direct.
That's not direct.
It's gonna be more eyes on the ACC.
Hold on.
Miami plays. Like, bro,
Miami going to the playoffs.
We talking about
Miami going to the playoffs.
Is the money being wired directly to the ACC bank accounts?
No.
That's all the understanding I need. That's all the understanding I need. Wait. Because Jim Phillips was talking like he was going to get that wire with each win. That's the way he was talking. But based upon what you've explained to us, it has always been etched in stone that is not the case. But you have educated us today and said that is not in perpetuity and more than likely is going to be changing. Jim Phillips did speak with reporters this week, and he said that, they're still working with the better teams and the winning teams in football and basketball in the ACC, taking a bigger piece of the pie. So it seems like they're settling that discrepancy, which I think is going to come back to bite them personally, because now you're dependent on teams that, especially from a football standpoint, you have to admit, K. Gibbs, the ACC really doesn't have a big dog right now.
So here's what's confusing to me, okay? Here's what's confusing to me. Because, we all know that guy that's a little delusional, that thinks a little too highly of himself. And I'm looking at these comments, right? And I'm seeing the ACC is only around.
Don't get caught up in the comments.
Don't read the magazines.
They're trying to pull you in, KG. Don't let them pull you in.
I'm confused. But here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say more than anything else. Give me just a second here. Okay, so more than anything else, I will say this, okay? The reality of Notre Dame not being pushed over Miami, whether you talk about direct, indirect money, whatever the case may be, you can take away the money completely, and it boils down to one simple argument. Is Notre Dame a full member of the ACC?
We know that.
Yeah,
there's no
is Miami. Hold on. Is Miami a full member of the ACC?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you and Left, Sean, you and Left do a show together. Y'all do great work. Y'all do amazing work. Y'all do amazing work wherever y'all are at, be it Bleav, be it Locked On, be it Independent. Y'all do amazing work. Y'all have done the great things with the Lucky Lefty podcast. I've watched y'all viewership grow. I've watched all of the great things that y'all have done and put out. But Left is never going to take precedent over your wife, right? Like, that's not what's going to happen, Sean, right? Because your wife is fully invested, a full member in all things that you have going on in your life. So if a moment comes where you're like, one of these two is somebody going to have to get dead the worst way right now. That's just what it got to be, right?
I'll give you an example.
Full member to ultimately get the benefit of the doubt. And here's the worst thing. And I'm going to give it to you after this. But here's the worst thing. I don't find the things that you talked about behind the scenes. I completely agree with you. If those things happened in the way that you're reporting, the ACC had multiple missteps behind the scenes. But number one, you don't bring that to the world. That's a problem between the ACC and Notre Dame. Hey, that happened in back rooms. Let's seal that up in back rooms. Let's have that conversation. And then number two, aside from the backroom stuff, which was not public until after everything had sorted itself out, I don't think anything the ACC did to Notre Dame was particularly egregious or wrong. Again, if you put any conference in that situation, what would they do? You think the SEC would do something different if it's Bama or Notre Dame and y'all were their partner? Do you think the Big Ten would do something different if it's Ohio State or Michigan or whoever in Notre Dame and y'all are the partner? Do you think the Big 12 is going to do something? Your Mark jumped in it, and it didn't even have nothing to do with him. And he said Notre Dame was wrong when he didn't got nothing to do with it. So you think the Big 12 would do something different if y'all were their partner? Like, that's my whole thing here. What was the ACC to do? And again, excluding the stuff behind the scenes, because, again, I have not seen it with my own 2 eyes, but I trust you, Sean. So I'm going to trust your word on that. And I've always admitted, the ACC, if you sending out emails and copying people in the incorrect manner, that's basic business one-on-one. You're not supposed to do that. But in terms of, they played the game where Miami and Notre Dame played head-to-head, back-to-back-to-back, and that it's a factual thing that happened. What are we doing here? When did facts become our enemy in this society? I feel like I'm in Bizarro world.
You done?
I am. Go for it, brother.
You done?
Go for it.
Oh, man, I cleared the runway.
Tell me what publicly was done that, again, logically, from a non-Notre Dame brain, should have been done different.
Here's the problem. The key word in this is relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Phillips, in the interview this week, declared, I want to read you the quote, just so I make sure we have backup. He was asked, how has the relationship with Notre Dame evolved in your 5 years? Jim Phillips said, and I quote, it's been good. I think very good. I certainly have a close relationship with Pete Bavacqua, and before that, Jack Swarbrick, and with former father John Jenkins and now father Bob Dow. It's a relationship that I think benefits both in a great way. They're a full member in all sports except football. The relationship ends up being intertwined because we talk often. I want you to bookmark that. We talk often, and they certainly have a really important place within the league. In the midst of what they did, they talked about what Notre Dame felt like was being done wrong.
Right.
Having a close relationship. And when you leave those conversations with an idea, okay, we have an understanding that is going to go this way moving forward. And they continue to double down on what you discussed as being a little too much. You can't come back and say, oh, what did you expect us to do? Wait a minute. That's not even our relationship. We didn't even put this on Front Street. We talked to you behind the scenes. We talked to you before it got to a boiling point. You knew how we felt as a business partner and a part-time football member. We never had a problem understanding that Miami beat us on the field. We never campaigned against Miami not being in the playoff. We had these conversations, and you still chose to smile in our face and leave the conversations. And once you got away, said, keep doing what we're doing. That's the issue. The issue is what is said. Because obviously there was an understanding that Notre Dame had that Jim Phillips and the ACC did not have when they left those conversations. Therein lies the issue. Not the aftermath, but what took place beforehand, and then what took place, as I didn't report it, I was just reporting what had been reported by others. So it was on the Independent podcast, just to give them credit. So and I believe it was Matt Fortuna, just to give him his credit. So in that stead, I understand what you tried to lay out. Understand. But if we have an issue, KG, if you and I have an issue,
absolutely,
and I come to you and I say, KG, I understand the position you're in. I'm not even tripping on that. As my boy, I would appreciate it if you just don't handle it that way. We think it can be handled in another way. Matter of fact, we support it because they beat us. We support that they should be in the playoffs. They beat us. We took that on the chin.
Right.
And we come to an agreement in our conversation. You say, bro, I get you. You're right. I feel you. And then you leave the conversation and continue to do what you've been doing. That's a problem. Okay. That's a problem. And I think that's what people missed. People tried to make it about the playoff, or they're just mad because they made the playoffs. They're just mad because Miami got in. None of that was the issue, which is why I brought up what he said about the relationship with Notre Dame. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This seals the deal, left. This seals the deal even more.
Seals it.
I have a personal connection to Notre Dame, and everybody knows that. I worked there. I had 2 kids graduate from there. I'm Catholic to the core. I believe in the institution. I value what Notre Dame means and what it means to the ACC. Then what's the problem? What's the problem? If the relationship is as strong as you're saying, why does Notre Dame feel like, wait a minute, you're acting real funny? We talked about this on multiple cases. We talked about this via email, and our emails didn't get CC'd, by the way. The emails coming from Notre Dame never got CC'd. Somehow, the ACC emails got CC'd. I'll just leave that alone, though.
Right. But again, we're back discussing what with the conversations that were had behind closed doors. But let's even continue with that thought, right? Number one, if we go to the public eye, actually, let me talk about the public eye one more time before I bring it back to the backdoor conversation. In the public eye, people keep saying, go after Bama. They should have went after Bama. They should have went after Bama. There were multiple tweets about Alabama that the ACC made. There were more about Notre Dame because a head-to-head matchup was had. That is just, it's easier to say, hey, this team belongs in over a team that they have a head-to-head matchup over than this team belongs in over this team that hypothetically, the resume is better. It's always easier to say we lined it up, we were the better team, we belong in over them, than, well, this team's resume doesn't match up to ours, especially for an SEC team. But now let's go back to the relationship and who's talking and what they're talking about. Again, this goes back to, and this is not just the chat now, that guy that thinks too highly of himself, that may be a little too sensitive, that the conversation could have very well been, hey, we're going to do what's in our best interest and we're going to do our best to fight for Miami. And the rebuttal could have been, well, don't step on us in the process. And the answer could have been, we're going to do our best to not. But ultimately, the situation comes down in a way that even doing their best to not step on you, there is going to be, hey, this happened. This happened.
Do you think what you saw in the 2 weeks leading up to the final rankings, you're going to sit here on Lucky Lefty podcast, going according to what you said, that the ACC and Jim Phillips operated under the guise of, we're going to try our best not to. Come on, Lefty.
Here's the deal.
They were in overdrive the last 2 weeks.
Here's the deal, Sean. Here's the deal.
And there was extreme panic, especially when they saw how the ACC championship game might end up playing out. Come on, we got to keep it above.
When we're talking about, hey, this is going to come down to the basic choice of about really, you take out the auto bid, so it was a 12-team playoff, right? So you take off the auto bids, and you're looking at, 7 or 6 left after that, right? 7.
Yeah.
7. Yeah. Okay. So we're looking at 7 spots for 8 or 9 teams? Even if Me and you are playing musical chairs, and I tell you, Sean, I'm going to do my best to not snatch a chair from you. If we're right next to each other in the line, like, I don't understand. This is
let me give you something. Let me give you the low-hanging fruit that was right there. Let me give you the low-hanging fruit that was right there. In between all of the repeats of Notre Dame, Miami, could the ACC have played the beat down to Alabama or Florida State?
Absolutely.
Did they?
I don't believe they did because Florida State was not up for the playoffs.
Okay. Hey, but Bama was. But Bama was. So to go with what they said about Bama in a good partnership and relationship, they could have done an olive branch or extended an olive branch in the relationship and said, you know what? Show that Florida State Bama game a couple of times.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, show it at 1 a.m. when people are asleep. At least we show.
Here's the thing about that, right? Of all the teams, if we look back, because let's keep it a band, right? Let's not do revisionist history on this thing. If we go back to where everything was at that point in time, and we're saying, how sure are we that this team was going to make it? How sure are we that that team was going to make it? Whatever the case may be, right? If we go back and we look at just Bama and we talk about, well, what was Bama's case to actually be there? Of all the teams, in terms of the teams that were on the bubble, that it was will they, won't they, all that good stuff, Bama had something that nobody in the country could have said, which was the best win in the country at that time on the road in Georgia. So again,
you could have played the worst loss by anybody in the playoffs.
Absolutely. But you know what would come out of, what would come out of that worst loss out of anybody in the playoffs? You know what would come out of that worst loss? Well, sure, they did have the worst loss out of anybody in the playoffs, but they beat Georgia, who was in the playoffs as well. That's what it would come down to. That's what it would be. Oh, they beat all of these ranked teams. And ultimately, when you talk about who was going to get in the playoff, how is this thing going to go? Again, even if we say, I'll even concede, sure, the ACC could have and should have shown the Florida State beating on Alabama in game one. They should have shown that at some point in time. Okay, cool. But now, if we're talking about what we saw in public, all of this, everybody keeps saying Jim Phillips' actions afterwards have shown how wrong he was. I don't know about you, but I know plenty of people who apologize when they shouldn't. Plenty of people who are a little too soft, which is what Jim Phillips has been accused of many a time, even before this. Before this moment, people didn't wait for him to completely bend the knee and kiss the throne of Notre Dame to say he's soft. People said this before when the lawsuits came. Before the lawsuits came, when we were having the talk of conference realignment, people were talking about how soft Jim Phillips is. So to me, Jim Phillips apologizing, fork found in kitchen. It's evidence of nothing. It's evidence of nothing. Because again, everything that Jim Phillips has done as a commissioner leaves me scratching my head and saying, wait, why are you doing this? Wait, what's going on here? Wait, I don't get this. And to further say, I have a personal relationship with this university. I worked there. My kids graduated from there. That's a great job as a commissioner to show everybody that your interest lies with your conference. It's a great job. The same way that when we were having the talks of, I believe it was playoff berths, Jim Phillips said, I want to do what's best for college football. Sankey's saying he wants to do what's best for the SEC. The Big Ten commissioner, I believe it was Petitti at the time, said he wanted to do what was best for the Big Ten. Yormark said, I'm fighting for my universities first. And Phillips was the only one of the Power Four to say, I want what's best for all of college football. Because what's best for college football is what's best for the ACC. Well, damn it, ain't none of the other G4 commissioners got the memo. You're the only one. It's just you. So pardon me if I am not quick to jump on the bandwagon behind a commissioner that objectively I would say is no better than the third worst in the ACC in the last 40 years or so. Pardon me. I'm sorry, but I can't get on board with what he thinks and how he feels, because he has objectively done thing after thing after thing that makes me look at him and say, so at what point do we prioritize the ACC, dog? You're not running all the college football. You're running the ACC, brother. We need to make sure that our deal with ESPN is protected, and the best way to do that is to settle out of court and make sure that Florida State has the Success Initiative, which, by the way, Florida State ain't pissed a drop since that lawsuit was filed. Very funny that they created the Success Initiative and they had a lick of success since, but more power to them. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not going to get on board with Jim. I worked there. My kids graduated from there, Phillips, about his relationship with Notre Dame. I never have and I never will.
If you cheat on your girlfriend, you apologize, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah. And also, if your wife apologize, if your wife upset because you walked by the bar and you didn't get her the middle part that she like a lot, even though you didn't do nothing wrong, you still gonna say sorry sometimes, right?
Yeah, but
because you got a bias towards that relationship that you're gonna do whatever you got to maintain it.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
It means you're doing what it takes to maintain a relationship that means a lot to you. Like Jim Phillips' sorry self will do whatever it takes to kiss the throne of the school that he worked at and where his kids went. That's what I see. I'm sorry, I don't see a guy.
And when Jim Phillips shows you who he is, believe him.
Exactly, and I do, and that's one.
And Notre Dame does.
And that we all do. So you
all that sweet stuff he said about Father Dow, Father Jenkins, Jack Swarbrick, Pete Bavacqua. No one in South Bend is believing that. No one's believing that. No one's believing that moving forward. No one's believing that.
You can hang $100 out the window driving real slow on the blade. If you don't know what that means, Google it, and you wouldn't get the type of service that Jim Phillips is consistently giving Notre Dame. You understand? I don't know what the man's problem is. I don't know why he bends the knee every time he gets the slightest bit of opposition from anybody. This ain't just opposition from Notre Dame. Schools from within the conference, when they give him opposition, he folds. When other G4 commissioners give him opposition, he folds. And it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You believe he is who he is. I believe he is who he is. And that's what that is. That's just what that is. I don't think either of us at this point are looking at Jim Phillips as he's just a wonderful ambassador for the ACC. And he's been a good steward of the relationship between Notre Dame and the ACC. I will agree with you on this. And I have always agreed with you on this. If the things went behind the scenes like they did, there are things to atone for to that end. However, I'm the type of guy, me personally, anybody who know me, there are guys I had been friends with from childhood, and something went awfully wrong in our relationship in high school, and I sent bro a text, and I said, hey, listen, me and you ain't cool no more, man. We ain't never going to be friends again. We ain't got to speak no more. We ain't got to, because that's the type of guy I am. I'm the type of guy I believe, yes, diplomacy is needed sometimes and all that good stuff. Yes, you got to try not to show your hand sometimes. But if Notre Dame had been having that conversation with me as the ACC commissioner, it would have been no misgivings, no misdeeds about, hey, listen, we're going to do what's best for our team, and we're gonna advocate for our team. If you get stepped on in the process, I'm sorry, but there are 12 chairs here. Some of them already got taken away. Some of them are already dedicated to people who got A's in their class or whatever. So it's a bunch of us fighting for these few chairs, and I'm sorry. If that hurts you, if that makes you feel the need to leave this relationship, I get it. But also, on Notre Dame's end, I'm going to quote Jalen Rose, you're only as faithful as your options give you the ability to be. Because I've asked people this, and I will keep asking folks this. Do you think that the Big Ten would take the setup that Notre Dame has with the ACC? Do you think the Big Ten would take it? Members in everything but football? You think the Big Ten would take it?
I can assure you that there are 2 Power 5 conferences that would take it.
Do you think they would? I'm asking, do you think the Big Ten would?
The Big Ten wouldn't, and the SEC, they don't need to.
Okay, the SEC would. Okay.
But there are other Power 5 conferences that definitely would need.
So now we're left with the Big 12 and the ACC. And again, yes, the Big 12 publicly, your mark publicly, has found his way to get his nose in the business of the
And
ACC
what happened?
and
And what
Notre
happened?
Dame to say
And what happened?
what did
And what happened?
What
What
happened?
happened? His second best team went behind his back when he told every other Big 12 team they shouldn't put Notre Dame on the schedule, and no one should put Notre Dame on the schedule. And BYU said, "Hey, come on up here." The BYU AD said, "We'll take a home and home with you."
Yeah.
Okay then.
All right.
So he can go sit down. He can go sit down.
But that's my point. That's my point, right? You're talking about one university. I'm talking about the conference. With all due respect,
Wait a minute. Do you really believe that Marcus Freeman and Pete Bravacco called Joey McGuire for a home and home, Texas Tech would take? Now, really about to play games?
You're talking about the individual universities. I'm talking about the conference as a whole. If the conference as a whole is at the round table and they say you will get the exact same deal.
So wait. So you talking about the conference that was just looking for private equity money?
I am talking about.
You really think if Notre Dame doesn't want to be in the Big 12,
brother.
If Notre Dame, no. If Notre Dame had an interest to make a deal with the entire conference, that commissioner would change his tune in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat, he would change his tune. I understand what you're saying.
And this is my rebuttal what you're saying. And this is my rebuttal for that. Logically, it does make sense for him to do that. However, your Mark has shown us he is a showman and he will puff his chest out big and bad, and he will act at times in ways that may not be the most logical. Because again, even if we go outside of your Mark, have we not seen plenty of people in college sports act illogically? Florida State spending $5 million, $3 to $5 million on lawyers while they were in debt hundreds of millions? Like, have we not seen this story play out already?
I absolutely agree with you. But see, here's the trump card. Notre Dame would just get all the ADs in the conference. See, because he works for them. At the end of the day, he works for them.
And again, if all the ADs in the conference agree to that, and all the ADs say, hey, this makes sense for us, this is good for us, let's do it, boom, it would happen. However, I highly doubt that there would be other conferences that will go for that. And even if we would say, well, hey, Notre Dame is the reason that the ACC is still holding up, and they're holding up the skeleton crew of the ACC. Sure. But if that is the truth, why not go to the Big 12? Why not say, all right, enough. The Big 12's got better brands right now. Texas Tech is a power that looks like they're going to stay a power for a while. BYU looks great right now. And everything else about averages out in terms of ACC and the Big 12. Why not say, you know what? Indiana a little closer to Iowa State anyway. Indiana a little bit closer to some of these schools in the Big 12 anyway than some of these schools in the ACC. Let's go ahead and do that. Why not? Why not do that if I'm Notre Dame? And I'm so miffed by how the ACC has behaved. I'm so perturbed. I'm so.
Now you're conflating. You're conflating subjects because look, Notre Dame can't control. Notre Dame is known as being good stewards. They're good stewards.
Right.
They can't control how Jim Phillips and the ACC handle business.
Right.
And that is, I'll be honest with you, from a football standpoint, they're separate from a business standpoint. They're not impacted by that, although they benefit in other ways and they benefit in all their other sports.
Right.
As Jim Phillips said, it is a mutual relationship where both benefit. No one's fighting that. No one's fighting that. There's people in the chat that might want to say what they want to say. No one is logically going to disagree with that, bro. No one's logically going to disagree with that. Just not. But at the end of the day, like I said, if there is respect, and I think what has been shown and learned by a first time, because I'll be honest with you, I really wonder if Jim Phillips pulls this with Jack Swarbrick. He got a young new AD at Notre Dame, and I really think he was like, let me take a little bit more than I would take against Jack Swarbrick. And he found out it's still Notre Dame, bro. And like you said, he folds like a tent. He folds like a tent no matter who it is. So that's just who he is. That's just who he is.
And the thing is, it's not even about Jim Phillips. No decent. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I mean this from the deepest depths, the place that Vanessa and Doris and Miss Yvonne and Uncle Aaron and everybody that's been in my family, Auntie Lynn, Auntie Janine, we love you, baby. Everybody that's poured into me that has, this from the deepest part of my soul. No decent AD would have sat there and said, oh, we gonna leave Notre Dame alone. We not gonna say what happened. We not gonna make this our biggest point of emphasis to get our team in the playoff. Now, if the argument is, and if the point of contention is the way that Phillips went about it was wrong because there were promises made in back doors that we're gonna be kind and gentle, and that was not what happened in turn, I'm with you. But what I'm saying is no AD worth his weight in dog crap would have said such a thing. Nobody would have said it's going to be us or you, but you know, you're so kind as a partial partner that we're gonna just, you know, we're not really.
You're being extreme now. You're being extreme with the reaction.
How am I being extreme?
Because a smart commissioner would absolutely know how to have a real conversation. And because, wait a minute, full membership gives you full benefits, correct?
Right. Yes.
Don't sit up here and act like you don't get partial benefits as a partial member.
Absolutely.
And Phillips was acting as if you don't get any benefits at all. That's the way he acted towards Notre Dame. There were no partial benefits. I gave you one example of low-hanging fruit of a partial benefit that could have taken place. That's not with the ACC social media and Jim Phillips. That's not how they operated.
The social media did make multiple posts about Alabama. They did, even though it was clear the SEC teams were never going to get left out. It's been shown time and time again, and yet still there were multiple graphics made that had Alabama's resume up against Miami's. What are we doing? What?
Wait. Why are they comparing Alabama to Miami instead of their partial member?
Because
no. Stop. Everybody the week before.
Notre Dame football is the non-member.
KG. They're not a non-member. They're a partial member. You keep saying a non-member. You keep saying you just want to make it seem like they don't have any benefits. They're a partial benefit.
Partial member.
Notre Dame football is a partial member.
I'll give you this.
Jim Phillips said it. I just read the quote.
Okay. Again, Jim Phillips. If you want me to take the direction of Jim Phillips, I'm sorry, I never will. 9 times out of 10, if Jim Phillips told me it's cold right now in Detroit, I might go up there in shorts and a t-shirt because I don't trust the man as far as I can throw. I know it's February. Yeah, I grew up in Detroit. I know it's cold as a polar bear toenails up there right now. But if Jim Phillips said it, I'm going to doubt it just because of how feckless he's proven himself to be time and time again. Okay? But again, I am not going to sit here and say, hey, that wasn't a good idea. To say they should have played the Bama-Florida State game somewhere in there. They absolutely should. Yeah, get that off one time in there, maybe 2 times in there, sure. But by and large, what I saw and the way Notre Dame was treated, to me, and in terms of what was done in the public eye, the backdoor conversations aside, because again, and let me also acknowledge, I'm not delusional. The backdoor conversations are very much so an important crux to the story. Right, that's a very important thing. Like, hey, if these backdoor conversations are being had, and the backdoor conversation is, hey, man, we all boys here. I ain't gonna mess up what you got going on. Y'all ain't gonna mess up what we got going on. Everything gonna be cool. And then you go out there and pull the seat. It is what it is. Like, that's not okay. That's not okay. I acknowledge that, and I say if that happened, that is a foolish move. That is an incorrect move from Jim Phillips. But again, my rebuttal to that would be no smart AD would say such a thing. No smart AD would say, oh, it's 7 seats, 8 to 9 teams fighting for him. You as a partial member will be prioritized in a meaningful way. Like that's my whole thing here. A smart AD. I'm not saying the smart AD would look at Schwarber or look at Bavakwa and say, "Hey, buddy, we coming to slit your throat." Just know that's what's happening. I'm not saying that, but I am saying the conversation amongst actual adults, amongst actual men. Hey, man, we got to do what we got to do. It ain't nothing personal. This is business. I want my full member in. Okay, I want my full member in. That's what I want. I'm gonna do everything in my power to make it happen. And that's that.
Lucky Lefty Podcast, Ken Gibbs, Locked On ACC, Locked On Wolfpack joins us right here. Subscribe, hit that thumbs up. Helps with the views. Don't forget Bleav Network, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. We are presented by FanDuel, FanDuel.com. Super Bowl 60 is Sunday, and you can find the prop bets, right? Heads or tail. You know, who's going to win, plus 2,500 for a kickoff return to start the game. And 46.5 is the over-under, with the Seahawks being a 4.5-point favorite. You can find that and much more over at FanDuel, FanDuel.com, or simply download the FanDuel app. All right. No one can give us the background of the offseason and what to expect for the teams that are on Notre Dame's schedule, the AC teams that are on Notre Dame's schedule. Let's start with Bill Belichick in his second year down in Chapel Hill. I know your favorite team, the Dirty Feet crew down there in Chapel Hill. It's a beautiful campus, though. It's a beautiful campus, though. Beautiful campus.
Beautiful campus. Yeah.
Flat out beautiful campus.
Absolutely.
Is it any chance that they are an improved team next year? And then is there any chance that they actually make a bowl in year 2 under Bill Belichick?
So a chance that they are improved. They were so bad last year. You're almost at the point where you say there's nowhere to go but up. However, some of the moves that Bill Belichick has made in the portal and in recruiting implies there is, in fact, another way. There is, in fact, another way they can go besides up. Do they make a bowl game? Absolutely not. Absolutely.
Oh, not.
That team is god awful. And I warned people last year. I tried to tell everybody last year, hey, Bill Belichick is one of the worst hires in modern history in terms of college football, Power 4 hires. He's never coached college football in his life. The last time we saw him, he looked like the game passed him by. And this year, if you look up the UNC football headlines that were produced out of last year, more of them were about a 24-year-old girlfriend than it was the 23 and 24-year-olds on the field. I don't think that's good. I don't think that's very good. So ultimately, I don't think that team gets much better this year. I think this is Bill Belichick's last year of coaching. And, I think that's another bad team. I think they finished the year with 4 wins, 5 wins if they reach the max potential of what they got over there, what I think they could do with Bill Belichick. But ultimately, I think they end up 3-4 win team.
Let's go next to the Stanford Cardinal.
You're saying that?
Yeah.
With Bill Belichick? Kurt Sinetti did it in 2 years. This is Bill Belichick's second year.
Sinetti, coming into Indiana, had won at every college stop he had ever been at. Kurt Signetti never coached in the NFL. If Kurt Signetti went to be the head coach of the Oakland Raiders, I'd say he'd have a similar result waiting on him that Bill Belichick did after 40-plus years in coaching. He was never even a GA on a college team. And everybody's like,
UNC is comparable to the Oakland Raiders. We've seen in college football teams turn around in a short period of time. Oakland Raiders ain't turning around no time soon. They just terrible.
In the NFL, worst to first is a regular occurrence because those are all grown men. And the brokest locker rooms in the NFL, you still got at least 5 or 6 multimillionaires that will never work again. Because even in the Raiders locker room, you got a couple. Ashton Genty, when he's done with this contract, even if he never gets a second one, he'll never have to work again. Max Crosby.
No, I'm saying in terms of the potential to turn around. Shoot, the type of money guys is getting now in college, they might be all right generationally.
I hear you. I hear you, but everybody ain't getting that kind of money.
No.
Sig bought in JMU guys and said, we're going to make this thing work. We're going to make the JMU guys and a quarterback from Cal.
Isn't there 41 transfers into UNC so far?
They had even more than that last year. In the words of the Grinch, stink. That's what that team going to do. They stink. They still stink, and they stunk last year. They're going to stink again this year. I don't know how else to tell you this. And this is one of the many things that I'm happy to be right about. I'm happy that they're terrible. I think they should hire more over there coach. Pete Carroll looking around for a job right now. I think he should be their next coach. I think matter of fact, I ain't even going to say what I wanted to say, but I'm going to just say this. There's plenty of retired coaches looking for a job, Heck, I'll go over there. You pay me right. You know what I mean? Hey, go Hills, baby. Go Hills. I'll do my best. It can't be worse than what Bill Belichick is doing. So, again, while Cignetti did turn around Indiana in no time, UNC is a very different situation. He coached at the D2 level. He coached at the FCS level. He coached at the Group of 5 level, and he was successful everywhere. Bill Belichick has a losing all-time record without Tom Brady as his quarterback in the NFL. He's only won one playoff game in the NFL without Brady as his quarterback. And
so you're on the train of him missing the first ballot.
No. I think that was foul. But I think that it was even more egregious when T.O. missed first ballot and nobody thought, we need to change the voting process when Dan Fouts was openly flouting the fact that, he off the field, he was a locker room guy that, he was. It don't matter. If you ask each of those GMs, hey, you'll get T.O.'s production that he gave you, but you'll also deal with the stuff that he gave you off the field. Not a single one of those GMs will say, nope, I don't want him. Don't bring him to my team. He convinced people Jeff Garcia was a Pro Bowler. That's how good he was. Jeff Garcia, Pro Bowler, on a regular basis because of him. Oh, come on now. Come on. So I don't believe that Bill Belichick should have missed out, but I don't like the fact that people are acting like this is the most egregious snub there ever was. And the fact that he was snubbed now means that voters should lose their vote as opposed to other players or other coaches who were also immensely effective, who also you cannot write the story of the game of NFL football without that player or without that coach. But when they get snubbed for off the field stuff, when Ricky Running Waters is left off, y'all Notre Dame boy was left off. It was, Ricky. For who, for what? He deserves to be left off. I beg your darn pardon. I don't care if he said for who, for what, never caught another pass, never scored another rushing touchdown. He still would have been one of the best dual threat running backs in NFL history, and he still should have got in. But again, with Bill Belichick, something different is happening where, we got to look at the voting process. People got to lose their vote over this. When it came to Ricky, when it came to T.O., when it came to a million other players, it just happened. These things happen.
Let's go to the Stanford Cardinal. Brand new coach, best buds of GM Andrew Luck out there. Tavita Pritchard replaces Frank Reich, who was the bridge coach.
Yeah.
And great offensive mind.
Yep.
But that's just a tough situation out there. I think Stanford, the way their infrastructure is set up, they thought that they were really going to benefit being right next to Silicon Valley. They thought they were going to benefit greatly from NIL. They really thought like, oh man, we'll be able to get money from next door, and not realizing that you still have to win and kind of recruit and have the right coaches to be able to recruit.
Yeah.
Tech guys aren't just coming up off their money so easy. Yeah. So what are they going to look like this year? I think they purposely kept Jeremiah Love from that Russian.
Yeah. Yeah.
They hurt him on purpose, but I'll digress.
I think Stanford is in for a tough year as well. I do like their new coach. I do think that in time we will see what he turns out to be. I do think that he's again, like you said, an offensive mind that has gotten it done everywhere that he's been. My only thing is I believe this is a first-time head coach coming in to a situation where Stanford is a little bit devoid of talent. And regardless of what you think about, this team can do it this way and this team can do it that way, it's the best scheme is the one where you got the best players. You say what you want about, Indiana didn't have no talent. Well, their quarterback is the Heisman winner. Probably going to be a top 3 pick at worst. I think they did all right in terms of picking up talent. So I think that Stanford, that they're a team that roster, I mean, I would be to see them win 6 games, I think is their upper limit, because I do think that they're going to be a little bit more organized than what UNC was. I think they're more serious operation in terms of Bill Belichick gave a lot of guys jobs that was their first ever coaching job. And it's like, hey, that guy just got off the couch, and I know he used to play for you, but why is he your linebackers coach? That don't make a lot of sense. So I think that Stanford is going to be a more serious operation than that. I see 6 wins as their ceiling. I'd say 4 is about their floor.
Once again, Lucky Lefty Podcast, we're about to go to the 3rd ACC opponent that first Saturday in November as the Miami Hurricanes come into Notre Dame Stadium. You guys need to check out Locked On ACC with Alex Dunno and our guy, Ken GIBBS. Best in the business. If you want to hear everything about ACC football, get locked on with Locked On ACC. So, some interesting things in the offseason, right? They go and get a really good edge rusher because they lost a lot coming off the edge. I think they're going to be really good on the interior. They bring back a lot on the interior.
Yeah.
But what they have to replace coming off the edge, they have Marquise Lightfoot coming back off the edge, who played really well. Chicago stand up. But Wilson was a really good get.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to talk about the Mensa saga, the way it went down. How is it being talked about in ACC circles? You know, are people outside of Miami upset, you know, with the way Miami handled things, the way Darian Mensa and his people handled things? Do they feel like Duke, who was the ACC champion returning, was kind of like put in a difficult situation and pretty much forced to release, you know, him from his agreement? You know, what are you hearing about how things are being taken conference-wide with this situation?
I mean, Miami is a perpetual villain. You know, as we learned many, many years ago with the whole Catholics versus convicts thing, which like, that's not exactly right. Still don't think it's right to this day, but it's another story for another time, especially being on the team that was dubbed the Convicts playing a Catholic League school. We'll talk about that later. But anywho, Miami is kind of typecast as perpetual villains here. I don't think Miami did anything wrong. I mean, the guy was available. He made it clear that he wanted to be there. What is Miami supposed to do? Oh, no, we don't want you. You waited too late into the portal. You can't join with a day left. No, get away from us. Ew, we don't want this. Like that's a situation that, you know, it just happened the way it did. The perception of it is horrible. And of course, this does not help with Miami's tampering allegations, to which I continue to tell people, hey guys, what is or what is not tampering is so broad. Let's say I hit the Mega Millions and the Powerball combined, right? And let's say both of them were really, really high. So I become an NC State super booster, okay? I could go up to Cass Tech and say, hey, man, you come down to NC State, I'll give you $1 million a year, right? Even if a kid is signed to Notre Dame, and guess what? Technically, it's not tampering by NCAA rules. You know why? I am not acting as a official member of NC State's staff. I'm not a staffer. I do not work for them. I do not receive checks from NC State. I'm a credentialed media member. That's it. That's all. You're going to see me at football games in the press box. You're going to see me at basketball games on press row. That's it. So I can legally do that. Now, does that feel morally right? Of course not. I'm an alum. I cover the school. It feels like people probably shouldn't be able to do that. But because the definition of tampering is so wide, it's like, hey, you could be mad about it. You could shake your fist at the sky about it, but you need to be shaking your fist toward the NCAA and telling them, hey, we need to get this together. We need to get this right so that we can get what we need done. But, yeah, there's a lot of people. And I will say this. The way the Mensa's camp did this in entering the portal on the last possible day, that's kind of foul. that's kind of foul because at the end of the day, you left your team with no time to find a quarterback. If he entered day one, it was like, hey, man, I'm good. I don't want this. Cool, whatever. Like, but ultimately, again, legally, he did nothing wrong. However you feel about morally it being icky and all that, it's unfortunate. Morality don't run this world. I mean, look at society around us. Morality ain't in charge. So ultimately, it's an unfortunate situation in which Duke ended up on the grabbing the short end of the stick there. But Miami got themselves a heck of a quarterback.
I was going to ask you, the last 3 quarterbacks that they've gotten from the portal, how would you rank them? Would you consider him an upgrade over Carson Beck?
In terms of coming in, who I thought they were as a prospect and as a quarterback, I would probably say Mensah 1, Ward 2, Beck 3. And I think it would be 1 and like a razor thin gap between 1 and 2, and then a very big gap between 2 and 3.
That's interesting. I'm shocked Left didn't jump in on this one because Left definitely. I think he said Ward. He had it Ward, Mensah, Beck.
I mean, my thing is this:
you think
if you flip Mensah and Ward, I'm not mad at you. Like if you flip it, I could see based on what you value who's what. I value quarterbacks that get the ball out on time, don't need to play a lot of hero ball, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
That's Mensah's game more so than Cam Ward's coming out of Washington State. Like it's more so what Mensah does than what Cam Ward did coming out of Washington State. And even then, when he got to Miami, he did a lot of that. There was a few moments where you're just like, hey man, throw the ball away, dog. Yeah. Taking that down loss, it ain't gonna kill you. It ain't gonna kill you. You'll be all right. So, I mean, again, this is who I thought they were coming in. And I'll say Cam Ward drastically outperformed who I thought he was coming in. Beck, he played as I thought he would. Mensah, the future is to tell. But yeah, I would say Mensah very closely over Ward. I'm okay if you flip him, but whatever way you cut or slice it, if you got Carson Beck over either one of them, lay off them drugs, okay? They ain't good for you. I don't know if you're doing them hot spoon drugs. I don't know if you're doing a glass pipe drug, but you need to stop it. You need to stop it because that ain't no weed. That ain't nothing mellow. That's something intense that you need to stop doing.
So where would you project them? With Mensah at quarterback, you're high on Mensah at quarterback. Like you said, They lose a lot. I think they lose a lot in the trenches.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they lose a lot. I don't know if they can recapture.
Here's the thing: I'm a lot lower on Miami than most people are. I really am. I know that everybody's like, "Oh, it's Cristobal. He'll just put together a new offensive line." I don't think it works like that anymore. I don't. In the era of the transfer portal, if you don't have proven guys, if you don't have guys that'll play, they're going to at minimum have growing pains, right? And then once they get out of those growing pains, what do they have waiting for them on the other side? Don't get me wrong. I don't think Miami's schedule is that front-loaded to where they're going to get the wheels whipped off them multiple times while working through those growing pains. When you look at Miami's playoff run, the difference in those games wasn't that they ran the ball better. It wasn't that they took the ball away better. It was that those edge rushers said, hey, guys, I think we need to win us some ball games. What you think? Mesidor said, you know what? I'm about 30. I got to hang him up soon anyway. Let me go ahead and take over. No, seriously, he's 25. He's old as dirt for an NFL edge rusher in year one. And he and Bain were absolute game wreckers at a level that I don't think can be duplicated easily. And if it is duplicated easily, Sean Taylor needs to be somebody's defensive coordinator. I'm sorry, not Sean. Jason Taylor, RIP Sean Taylor. Jason Taylor needs to be somebody's defensive coordinator next year. He needs to get a check much bigger next year right away because that type of production, if you can do it 2 years in a row, it's unheard of. So I'm not as high on them as most people. I think that they're an 8 to 9 win team, and Miami fans don't really want to. I got to look over their schedule again. Off the top of my head, I'd say
it's horrific.
It's terrible. Starts with Stanford.
Well, if it's that terrible, then their ceiling could be 10, 11 wins and a potential playoff berth again. But the reality is, I don't think that this team is going to be what last year's team was on either line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I'm going to read the schedule to you, KG, just so you can have an accurate account
All right.
of what you're trying to say. They start at Stanford. They come home to play the Rattlers. It's going to be a heck of a game to go visit if you want to watch halftime in the Battle of the Bands.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it's going to be fantastic.
They host the Rattlers of Florida A&M.
Of course.
And they go to Wake Forest.
Mm-hmm.
Then they host the Central Michigan Chippewas.
Okay.
Then they go to Clemson.
Yeah.
Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
North Carolina.
Right.
At Notre Dame.
Okay.
Duke.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech and Boston College.
Oh my God. Yeah, this team at worst should be 10-2, 9-3. Yeah. Yeah, that's oh my God, that's a terrible schedule. Whoa.
Yeah. So let's talk. Go ahead, Lev.
That's what they do. All these teams doing playoff friendly schedules. It's about the second season. They figured it out.
Here we go.
I mean, it's no different than us.
I was just about to say, pot, meat, kettle. Come on now.
But at the same time, with our schedule, we don't know who's going to be really good. We know for a fact, Bethune-Cookman is not going to be good.
So y'all thought Rice was going to be good? Y'all saw the Rice Owls and said, "Oh, them some ballers right there."
Rice might be something, but that's one team.
Rice ain't never pitched
Michigan State may win 8 games next year.
Rice ain't never.
Wisconsin may be over 500 next year.
Hold on. Did you say Michigan State may win 8 games next year?
They're gonna be over 500.
This is a lesson to Lucky Lefty Nation. You know, we were just talking about laying off the drugs, and that's why Left keep turning the camera off, and he muted himself because clearly you hearing that lighter flick in the background. It ain't a Lil Wayne track. Okay, I'm just
saying, man. This is a serious thing.
Sean,
look at our schedule,
and you remove all the Pyrex from his crib. Everything that's Pyrex that can be used to store anything hot, get it out of his home. He said Michigan State is going to win 8 games next year. Get it out of there.
Maybe not 8 games. Maybe not 8 games. Maybe not 8 games, but they'll be over 500.
I'll give you that. They could be.
Wisconsin will be over 500. This is week 1 and this is week 1 through 3 for us.
I don't know about that.
They'll be over 500.
We thought the same thing about Wisconsin this year. Were they over 5?
It's different when you get that Notre Dame stimmy. We didn't think Miami would be what they were. Okay, I'm just saying.
So it's because Wisconsin didn't play Notre Dame last year that they that's
teams,
why they did.
Teams somehow catch fire when Notre Dame's on their schedule. I'm just saying. Anyway, SMU, good team. They'll be over 500.
Yeah, talk to us about.
Come on, we're talking the schedule now. The schedule.
SMU is one of the few teams returning both their head coach and starting quarterback in the ACC. And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm a big Kevin Jennings guy, man. I'm a really big Kevin
Jennings is nice.
His mechanics are getting better and better year by year. He's learning how to read defenses at a prolific rate, and he's still got the athleticism, of course. I like what Kevin Jennings does a lot. I like how he keeps the offense on pace. And again, I told y'all I don't like guys that play hero ball. He had a bad tendency of that when he took Preston Stone's spot. But now that he's maturing, he's
a Trinidad Chambliss. You know, he's an archetype of Trinidad.
Yeah. He's figuring out. Sometimes I'm gonna wiggle a little bit. I'm gonna throw that ball into the dirt. I'm gonna be all right. And so that's been a really good thing.
Talk to me though. Talk to me. Purdue may not be that good, but they'd be floating around 500.
Purdue floating.
BYU floating. They'll be a 500 team.
Miami 500.
BYU maybe Miami.
If you put together a parlay, and by the way, if you're doing sports betting in January, in February for next year's college football season, go talk to the lady. Go sit on that lady couch because there's something wrong with you. But now, Left, if you were to put together a parlay that said Michigan State 8 wins.
Okay, you stuck on the 8 wins. Maybe not 8.
Okay, I give you 6. If you put together a parlay of Michigan State 6 wins,
Wisconsin
6
6
wins.
wins.
Purdue 6 wins. Brother, you might not have
I
to
said
work
flow team. They may win 4.
Okay.
But hold on now, they give trouble to everybody though. Let's accept us. So let's keep it a beat. Okay.
After Brown left, what trouble have they given anybody besides their fans? What?
Trouble is they keep it close. Okay, let's keep going though. First of all, the North Carolina tickets are one of the higher tickets in the Notre Dame season. So that's saying something. That's saying they may be close to 500. I'm just saying they $256 for a ticket.
The game? All right. See.
Come on now.
See, I see now I peeped the plan. Sean, I was wondering what he was doing.
I'm just evaluating.
Me. He know about family, high blood pressure running the
family.
I want you to know I run long distances and I keep my sodium intake down. So you stressing me out will not cause me to have a stroke on this show.
I'm just saying.
Understand that.
Why would the tickets?
You're trying to send me to an early grave, and I'm not gonna let you do it. I'm
just saying they 256 online for a reason. Okay, we can keep going,
brother. Hold on. No. The TCU tickets with UNC last year were going at about $250 a pop, and they had all these NFL legends in there. Yeah. Quick question: how did that game against TCU go? Despite
it started fast, ended slow. Started fast, ended slow. But listen, by October of next year. By October of 2026, there'll be a better team. That's why the tickets are $256. But we can move on because then you go down to BYU. That's a 500 team. Navy's a 500 team. Miami's a 500 team. This is a tough schedule. I'm just saying, this is a tough schedule.
Wait a minute.
When you slide, hold on.
Let me my boy, but you're making me laugh now.
He's trying to rage bait me. I know what this is. That's what the kids call it. The kids call it trolling. You're trying to troll me.
We're just working through. Navy has won 11 games the last.
He said we're just working through it.
We're just working through it now. This is a tough October now.
Listen. Let me tell you something. Man. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna sing a song for you. Now I remember they sung this in church when I was a kid. Okay, and we get up off of the cocaine.
I'm just saying.
Get up off of that crack. You gotta get yourself together, Lefty, and go and get your mind back. We gonna get your mind back, Lefty.
You telling me? I'm just saying. You're telling me that none of these teams, after we've seen Boise State make the playoffs, Tulane make the playoffs. You're telling me a Wisconsin can't make a run, a BYU can't get back, a SMU can't finally
I'll
get
give
in?
you BYU. I agree that BYU, SMU, and Miami are good teams.
Hold on now. Navy has a case with the new rules. Navy got a case. Hold on, okay. Now we can
have we ever in the history of the playoffs? Let's talk about 14. Hold on. Going back to the history of the playoff, from 4 teams forward, have we ever seen a triple option team make a playoff?
But we saw JMU make it. So the door is open. Clearly,
that proves my point even more.
Clearly, the door is open.
What conference does JMU play in? Help me out.
I can't. They play on the weekday. I got to work. I can't.
Conference?
All right, work when they play.
Let me ask you this.
I'm at work when they play.
So we know, you and I both know that Navy plays in the American Conference, correct?
Okay.
Has there been an American Conference team in the playoff, perhaps, by chance? Is that a thing that's happened? Yes. Yeah. Tulane last year. Why couldn't Navy and all these wins and all this really good team get there last year over a Tulane team that lost their quarterback? You know who doesn't have to worry about the transfer portal the same as everybody else? A school that when you sign on that dotted line, you're signing a military commitment.
Navy's problem is that they can't beat Notre Dame. Everybody knows Notre Dame is a golden ticket.
So Notre Dame is what
Navy was to beat Notre Dame in any of these last 2 or 3 years, they would be in that playoff situation.
So Navy.
We see Miami do it. So
Navy is being held out of the playoff by Notre Dame, despite the fact, right? So despite the fact that they lost to North Texas, you're saying that that Notre Dame is what kept them out.
Absolutely.
That's what kept them out.
100%. And then you watch these other teams non-deserving make the playoffs. It just begs the question: the door is open for Wisconsin.
Y'all got a rule for you now. We got a rule because Notre Dame is special boys and girls. That if you're in the top 12, it doesn't matter what's going on around you. Context does not matter because the Fighting Irish, they're the specialist boys and girls. Bama didn't need it. Bama couldn't get this amendment. Ohio State couldn't get this amendment. Michigan couldn't get it. Texas couldn't get it. USC couldn't get it.
We're talking about the conferences. You talking about the conferences that are begging that they get 4 or 5 automatics? What are we talking about?
That's my point. Does any conference have 4 or 5 automatic? Does any conference have 4 or 5 automatic? Can you lose 4 games in any conference and feel like, oh yeah, it's an argument? I'm on the edge.
We lost 2 games. What are we talking about? Let's evaluate Notre Dame's season if you Marcus Freeman as Kenton Gibbs Freeman.
Okay.
You lost 2 games, the first 2 games of the season. You go on a 10-game win streak, score 42 on average points. You done whooped everybody up and down. You got a Doak Walker Award winner, 2 running backs, and you walk off of the field with a 10-game win streak, thinking about the playoffs. You're like, oh, this is playoff run right here. And you don't get in.
Well, see,
and you don't get in. How do you evaluate the season? You telling me that this is we somehow need it's a special treatment or we need the respect?
Okay, well, that's interesting because if anybody else had actually, let me not even say that. Let me not say that. Let me come
on now, talk to me because we know that the situation.
I'm fine because I don't want to lose y'all clean rate. I done already mentioned
the situation where we didn't make the playoffs. It's more of the story. That's why we got the rules. Because nobody can look at this season Notre Dame had and say they didn't deserve the playoffs. That's why the rules got changed. Not because we need special stipulations, because it didn't make sense why we wasn't in the playoffs.
And this is what I'm going to say more than anything else, right? This is what I'm going to say more than anything else. Notre Dame played 2 top 15 teams last year and lost both of those games.
Miami lost when they was number 2 team in the country to a team that didn't make the playoffs. 2 of them that didn't make the playoffs. I don't want to hear that.
Did Miami lose every game? Did Miami lose every game they played against top 15 teams?
Miami lost to teams that wasn't ranked.
Did they lose every game they played to top 15 teams? The team that you're arguing for lost to that Miami team that you're saying beat nobody. So either your argument is Miami beat nobody.
The fact that you're calling them top 15 teams the week 1, that's not true. And then to say that they got worse as the season went on, that's a fact. We got better as the season went on. So that's why
they got worse as the season went on.
But yes, they got worse as the season went on. How you go from you beat Notre Dame, you got your magic ticket week 1, Gatorade bath, the whole 9. Then you go number 2
that got worse as the season went on, got into the playoffs, proceeded to continue to get worse.
They got ended up the team that was outside the playoffs when Notre Dame walked off the field ranked number 9. Where the team supposed to be in? What math goes from Notre Dame being ranked in the playoff bracket every week until the night of the call? That don't make no sense.
It makes more sense to say you belong in over a team that had the exact same record as you but beat you. That makes more sense.
Absolutely.
It makes more sense to say
if you look at their body, if you look at their resume,
you beat us.
Yes,
we're a better team than you.
Yes, because if you have context,
we've gotten a lot better, and you have.
If I'm the playoff committee, I'm looking at context. Okay, if you're saying Miami's so good, why are they losing during the stretch during the season? Notre Dame didn't lose.
So who you lose to matters more than who you beat.
The journey of the season matters. If you're losing late in the season, if you're losing the teams you shouldn't be losing to, if you're losing the teams when you're ranked in this whatever, that matters. You're losing you're not even in the conference championship of your own so-called conference.
Okay.
How does that not matter?
And that's great, but you lost to the team that wasn't. Whatever you say about Miami, I want you to think about this.
Number 9 and don't make it. I get it if we was hanging on 12 or 13 or 12 and a half. We was good. You had to sacrifice other teams before you got to us, and somehow a team that was 14 cuts us. Ain't no way. That's why they had to make the rules.
Left. You don't understand. You got to go to the very basic rule of what I like to call the ex partner dilemma. Okay, See, the ex-partner dilemma works in football when you lose to a team, but in real life, it works when you break up with somebody, right? And you get online and you talk about how terrible they were, right? Let's say you dated a young lady and she didn't know how to wash up good, right? And you was like, oh my God, I hated her so much. Every time she came over, it smelled like fish fillet in there, but you was in a 2-year relationship with her. What does that say about you? That you was okay smelling it, right? Now let's go back to football. Everything you say about Miami, if you say Miami didn't beat nobody, they beat you. So you're now included in nobody. If you say, well, Miami wasn't in their own conference championship, you lost to a team that was not in their own conference championship. That is what you're saying. Because you lost that game, everything that you say about Miami falls under the ex-partner dilemma.
The conversation works both ways because the team that you're saying that it works both ways because the other team outside of Notre Dame is a team that went to the playoffs and the championship. So if this is the same team that didn't make the conference championship but made the playoffs, how are we not in the playoffs then? How are we not in the playoffs? Because at the end of the day, what's the point?
That Notre Dame played,
because that's a terrible point. That's a terrible point because that point only applies to Notre Dame. That point only applies to Notre Dame. That point only applies to Notre Dame. That point doesn't apply to Alabama. It doesn't apply to Alabama. It doesn't apply to Alabama. Lost 4 games and lost to Florida State
on the road. They had the best win. Alabama had the best.
What best win? What best win? What best win?
See, he trying
to beating Georgia on the road. You're saying that's Alabama's golden ticket? Come on, KG. Come on,
KG. As your bro, KG. Let me just give you a piece of advice. Stop putting gas in the tank.
You're right.
I'm just saying. You're talking about stop putting
gas in the tank. Stop putting gas in the tank.
That's what it is. That's what it is. He acting outrageous right now.
I can testify that this is somebody that figuratively and literally bleeds green, just flat out.
No, I'm just saying. It's just
nothing you can tell.
We are being objective here. We are being objective.
You're not being objective.
Yes, we are being objective.
No, you're not being objective.
No, that Notre Dame education is worth a lot of money. I know
so
y'all got.
Okay, so then you're telling me Notre Dame should have stopped playing football after week 2.
If the goal was national championship or bust,
that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense.
If the goal was national championship,
that's true. Because Miami beat us week 1, we should have stopped playing the rest of the season.
No. If you beat Texas A&M, what happens? If you lose to Miami week 1 and you beat Texas A&M and you run the table,
so then it goes back to if we're undefeated or if we lost. You either be undefeated or you lose one game in week 1 and you don't make the playoffs. That's what y'all saying. That's why they made the rules. It don't make sense. Why is Notre Dame the only team that has to be undefeated to make the playoffs?
Nobody said you got to be undefeated.
Then what was the other way? Because a bunch of teams made the playoffs losing 2 games. It doesn't make sense.
Again, it's not about losing 2 games. It is about the fact that the only 2 teams that you played that were in contention for the playoff, you lost to them. Every other team in the playoff does not have that qualification. The only one that you could make that argument about is BYU. But here's the problem with making that argument about BYU. BYU lost to an undefeated Texas Tech that put belt on. A one-loss Texas Tech that the only game they lost, their starting quarterback was hurt. Every other game that they had played, they had an average margin of victory of 20-something. So that's the only other 2-loss team that did not have a win against a fellow team that was in playoff contention. That was the only one. That was it. And BYU did not get in. They didn't. Yeah, BYU didn't get in. So, BYU ended up in the Pop-Tart Bowl. And you said, y'all don't play for Pop-Tarts. So what more do you want? What more do you want? You saw it applied to you. It applied to BYU. It applied to almost everybody. If you're only playing teams that are nowhere near playoff contention, you can beat them by however much. And unless you have an auto bid because you are in a G6, you are not going to get in. And again, I have said for a very long time that the rating system is flawed and it should not come out until at least week 4. It should not come out until at least week 4. And by the way, teams, in my opinion, it shouldn't even be done by who the team is. You should have to look at a blind resume and rate that team from there. But in the world that we live in, where the guys like us need something to talk about during the offseason, so, people who make a lot more than us to do this get on TV and say, oh, this is the preseason top 25, and here's this team, and here's this team, and here's this team. And every year, we see at least one top 10 team finish unranked. But it is what it is, that the ratings are what they are, and it is how it is now. And what I'm saying to you is point me to the team that was in the playoff last year that did not beat anybody else that was in contention for the playoff. Point me to the team that got in and meets that criteria.
Lucky podcast.
That's okay.
Can we move on to Boston College? I just want to talk about the ACC schools on the schedule.
Let's talk about Boston College. Let's talk about it.
We are talking about Boston College. We play Boston College.
So let's talk about Boston College. Hey, they gave Notre Dame one of their toughest games. It was a game that most Notre Dame fans never thought would be in question going into the fourth quarter. Bill O'Brien, how are the Eagles going to look this year?
Both of the Bills are terrible at coaching, and neither one of their programs cares much about football. They will not put money in. Boston College is poor. In the words of Terrence Howard when he was talking to Tay Diggs on Best Man, brother, do you need some money? Because Boston College can't do anything in NIL. They're not picking up players that are very meaningful, and that's just what it is. I think that this is Bill O'Brien's last year as a head coach for quite some time. I don't understand how he keeps failing forward. If I had his agent in my dating life, I'm only a couple failed relationships away from Meg Thee Stallion being my old lady. I just know I am. Unfortunately, I do not have his agent, so I got to continue being on the dating apps and whatnot. But in all seriousness, this Boston College team is not going to be good. I would be shocked if the game was as close as it was last year.
I'm very intrigued by this last team because, first of all, I really like Fran Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I like him as a coach. I really like him as a dude and how genuine he is.
Same.
And I feel for him last year because I thought they really had something special going with Steve Angeli before he got injured on the road at Clemson. Yes. And then the injury bug kind of just, went throughout his roster. Can they recapture some of that and be a competitive team and put a little fear in some of the top teams in the ACC, like it seemed like they were going to be able to do going into October last year?
Last year, they were playing with a lacrosse player at quarterback. Now, I know Notre Dame knows a thing or two about that because, it happened to y'all a few years ago, and y'all saw what the results were when y'all had a lacrosse player at quarterback. I do expect the Orange to be better than they were last year. I expect them to understand, comprehend, and be able to execute the concept known as a forward pass. I expect that.
Come on, man. Don't do that.
Brother, you saw them last year.
Come on, man.
Listen,
Jelly was leading the nation in passing before he got hurt.
That's what I see. This is what I mean. You trying to raise bait me even when we agree. This what Shaw was talking about. I am saying that they will have a much better passing game this year than what they had last year because of the injuries and all that good stuff. With that being said, I Bleav that if I'm looking at what we're seeing from Syracuse and the Portland and all that, I still don't think they're a very good team. I just don't think they're atrocious as they were last year. As Left would say, this is a 6-win team because I think this is. I think this is a 6 to 7 win team potentially. At worst, I think they'll win 5.
So we talked about Boston College and Syracuse, who are the last two teams on our schedules, being around 500.
What? Who said Boston College going to be around 500? See, there you go again.
The way you glowingly talked about them, what you saying they winning there?
Glowingly. I said this is going to be Bill O'Brien's last head coaching job for some time, and they're poor. They're poor. Them boys are broke. Them boys. Yeah. I'll tell you what. Look. Here's my word. You have my word on this. Okay. You have my word. If so, you basically said all the teams on Notre Dame's schedule except Purdue are going to finish 500 or better, right?
No, I'm saying 3 teams may finish around 4 wins. The rest are 500 or better for sure.
Okay, and here's what I'm telling you. So you said 3 teams may finish around 4. All
Rice, Purdue, and maybe Stanford. Maybe.
And here's what I'm telling you. If all of the teams that you said are about 500, if all of those teams, actually, I'll even give you one mulligan. If all of those teams except one finish 500 or better, I will come on here and triple Notre Dame nail you. And not only will I come on this show and triple Notre Dame nail you, during Locked On ACC, I will start Locked On ACC by saying the Irish are one of the best things to ever happen to the ACC. I will do that for you.
That's just true anyway. I mean,
no. Here's the other part of that deal. Here's the other part of that deal. Here's the other part of that deal. If it turns out that I am right, and that this schedule is mid, and that there is more than 4 teams that finish with less than 6 wins on this.
More than 4 teams that finish with less than 6. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me look at it. More than 4 teams. So, okay, that's easy. That's easy. Steve had 3 wins in the first 3 weeks. And beat Clemson. That's easy.
Okay, so if 4 or more teams, 4 or more, finish with less than 6, right? Less than 6, 4 or more, you got to wear some NC State gear on here, and you got to talk about how CJ Bailey is definitively better than CJ Carr will ever be on your podcast. And I'll need at least a 3-minute segment. Because again, I'm gonna give you a full 3-minute intro on Locked On ACC talking about Notre Dame is the best thing that ever happened. Come on with it. I'll take that.
Because SD agrees, though. SD agrees that most of our team. Yeah, he agrees.
No. So first of all, stop speaking for me. You know,
I'm speaking for you. I saw it.
We had this argument on our show last week. Do not do that.
SD co-signs what I'm saying. That's why.
No, I do not co-sign.
Where do you think I got it from,
ladies and gentlemen?
So listen.
The statements made by
MALIK ZAIRE. Whiskey. You've been drinking too much.
No, I'm saying, SD, do you agree that 3 teams at least? No. 4 teams or less will
It has to be 4 less. So if
4 less will win around 4 games.
If 9 of the teams finish 6 or better, hey, I'm here.
You agree with that, SD?
I'm here. But if 4 or more finish with more than 6 losses, come on with it. I'll ship you the NC State gear. You give me that. You send me that.
SMU will have more than 6 wins.
Yes.
Miami will have more than 6 wins.
Yes.
Navy will have more than 6 wins.
Yes.
BYU will have more than 6 wins.
Yes. And Wisconsin have 6.
I am not.
Hey, Sean,
I would not agree
have
with
more
Wisconsin off the bat.
They got to have more than 6. If they get to 6, if these teams get to 6,
Michigan State can win 6 games. They got Purdue in it. Hold on.
So take the bet. So you taking the bet, left? You taking the bet?
Sean
taking
agrees.
the bet, left.
We're taking the bet.
Stop saying I agree. I do not agree.
I'm a man of my
word. We are
word.
taking the bet. What are we doing?
No, we are not. I'm not coming on Locked On ACC. I am not taking the bet. Left, you are on your own. I'm trying to bring. See, he's the type of brother that, come on.
Yeah. Hey, he the type of guy, the police got him. Sean, come out. They called us, bro. They got us, bro.
Right.
They got us.
No, bro.
It's realistic, though.
Hey, listen. All I love y'all boys, man. Y'all, like I said, y'all do great work here.
Michigan State's playing Toledo, Eastern Michigan, Nebraska, Northwestern. Come on. Rutgers. That's 6 wins right there.
That's 5, actually. You got to find 6.
Illinois in there. UCLA's in there. Come on, man.
They're going winless in November.
Who?
Michigan State.
They'll beat UCLA. They'll beat UCLA.
Wait. Did you look at November?
Hold on. I'm looking at the.
Look at November.
November starts with Michigan?
Yes.
They'll beat Rutgers, and they got a chance against Washington.
No, they're not beating Washington. You need to stop.
They gonna beat Rutgers. Okay, that's one. So they'll beat.
Will
Rutgers.
they? Will they beat Rutgers?
Come on now, time out. Pat Fitzgerald's a good coach.
It's at Rutgers.
Pat Fitzgerald is a good coach. What are we talking about?
Are you sure they're beating Wisconsin?
100%. They're beating Toledo. They're beating Eastern Michigan. That's 2 wins.
Okay.
They're losing Notre Dame.
They're losing to Nebraska.
Dylan Raiola's not there. The the Wisconsin game, whatever. Illinois, they'll give them some trouble. No Luke Altmaier.
No. We're not doing
that. No Luke Altmaier. What do you make of Luke Altmaier?
Left. You know darn well.
No Luke Altmaier. And they lost Aaron Henry. And they lost Aaron. What are we talking about? They lost.
I never care who told it. A lie never cares.
Is Brett Bielema still there?
He is.
Brett Bielema is there, but their DC's not. Their quarterback's not. So
once again, it's Brett Bielema's. Guess who's their starting quarterback? Wait. Guess who's their starting quarterback?
Who?
The last quarterback to win a game in James Stadium before Marcel Reed. When he came in with Northern Illinois.
Oh, so y'all got a hopeful. Y'all got a hope so.
That's what it's a hopeful now.
That's a hopeful now. Okay. The game was 13-16 or something like. Come on now.
Excuse me, KG. Can I propose a side bet?
How are you on side bet when we on the same bet? We on the same bet.
No. Take the Michigan State Illinois game then. Take the bet. And I'll give you the points. I'll give you the points.
Hold on.
Take the bet.
Let me look at it.
Whenever it comes out. I don't care if it's double figures.
Easily.
Take the bet.
We're taking it.
You taking the bet?
We're easily taking it. We're easily taking it.
Okay.
No, Aaron Henry.
You have to come on this podcast wearing Illinois garb for a whole show. 2 hours.
Ooh.
You're telling me
you giving them the Illinois joint or the block out?
They're losing their DC. They're losing their DC and they're losing their quarterback.
I might go script. Right. I might give them the
script. They're losing their DC and their quarterback.
I like the
full word. The full word.
Fun fact. Most people don't know this about me.
They should have got Kenny Minchie. That's all I'm saying. They should have got Kenny
Minchie.
Yeah.
Did you go on the official to Illinois?
Yeah, I did. It was a good time. It was a good time out there, man. It wasn't.
Spain's a good time.
Let me tell you something, man. It was a good time, but one of my
so that's why y'all homers. That's what it is. That's what I'm dealing with. Homers.
What are you talking about?
Y'all not being objective about Michigan State at all. Y'all talking about I love being over there. It was fun. That's why y'all teaming up. Y'all know Michigan State's gonna beat them, man. No Luke Altmaier. No, that's the greatest quarterback they've had in the last 5 years. They lose their DC.
Hey, listen.
They didn't get.
First of all,
come on, man.
I'm gonna call the authorities on your drug dealer. I'm gonna call the authorities on your supplier.
Pat Fitzgerald is a great coach, and they got Max Bullock.
He ruining this society. And Left used to be a smart young man, Notre Dame graduate, a graduate of one of the most prestigious universities in America. And now he's sitting up here telling me Michigan State gonna win 8 games.
No, they're gonna win 6 games. They're gonna win 6 games.
You see what drugs do to your body. You see what they do to your mind.
Yeah,
you see what they do.
Have you looked at their schedule, Ken Gibbs? You're telling me looking at their schedule, they win in the first 2 outright.
Sure.
Outright.
Sure. Some of these they can hope to win against the spread for sure. So
if they're winning the first 2 games, all they got to win is 4 games. I'm taking the chances versus Illinois, Northwestern, Rutgers, Washington, UCLA. Come on, man. That's, all they got to do is catch a hot streak. That's 6 games.
I hear you. And all I got to do to get a date with SZA is be in the same room with her and convince her to go on a date with me. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. Anybody can do it. It's easy.
Michigan State's in the room, though.
Yeah. Hypothetically, they're in the room. In reality, they are well outside the room, and security is standing there saying, player.
Illinois might only win 6 games next year. They on the fringe. So
take the bet then. Take the bet.
I already took it.
Okay, great.
He took the bet.
Illinois homers.
Let me. First of all, dude, there's people that don't do their homework. If I'm correct, I might be wrong, but I think I'm correct. There is no head coach in the Big Ten that has more Big Ten championships than Brett Bielema. For the people in the chat that want to try to discredit Brett Bielema.
That's fair. That's because Urban has stepped down.
He has the most out of the current coaches, including Ryan Day.
Third base Day don't count.
He has the most Big Ten championships of any head coach and has won 19 games at Illinois in the last 2 years. And ended the season beating better SEC teams in bowl.
Man, everybody left.
We want to act like Brett Bielema is mediocre. Was he mediocre?
He's not mediocre. We're not going
to play that game like Brett Bielema is not mediocre. He's a better coach than Pat Fitzgerald.
I don't know. I don't know.
What does the record say?
Man, Pat Fitzgerald got a better team.
Does Pat have any Big Ten championships?
Pat Fitzgerald got a better team. now.
Where? Who's the quarterback? Who's the quarterback? I know who Illinois' quarterback is. Who's Michigan State's quarterback?
Michigan State running the ball, man. Tough physical.
Not just running the ball.
Michigan State football.
No, they bring it back to Wing T. They bring it back to Wing T.
You remember Javon Ringer? Yeah.
I do remember Javon Ringer.
Yeah, they bringing some of that back to Michigan State. Oh yeah. Le'Veon Bell.
Bell ain't walking through that door. TJ Duckett ain't walking through that door. See, you don't need to know the real throwback. TJ Duckett ain't walking through that door.
TJ Duckett.
Let me tell you something. TJ Duckett was a load. That was one of the first dudes that I saw.
His brother was nice.
That's Pat Fitzgerald right there.
Tico was nice too.
Oh, he
was nice too.
Yeah.
Tico was nice.
Yeah, they had some big old backs, man. They had some big old
Tico was nice. Tico was nice. Hey, man, it's been a great show, bro.
I was about to say, I got to see that.
It's been a great show. We got to keep doing this a little bit more. Three's Company might have to make a return. Three's Company. But, you know, left our brother, Big's getting big time over there. He getting re-ups on contracts and stuff over there. So, you know what I'm saying? He might be too. No. I have to see, because Notre Dame fans come at us. Like, we don't want to have you on the show. They come at us, KG.
I know the headphones gave it away.
Why don't
the
you have KG?
Gave it away. I'm like, these are the ones they using the G516 plane.
Hold on.
He got the government issue. I said,
he's fooled by the rocks that I got. I'm still Kenny from the block, baby. I ain't got rich. You know what I mean? I ain't, you know. I'm doing all right.
Them beats by Dre, ain't it? Them beats by Dre?
What you say, SD? What you say, SD? I've been a good steward. I've been a good steward. You know what I mean? I've been a good steward. What you want from me, man? What you want? You know what I mean? I did all right for myself.
Hey, Left, you know what I'm saying? He's so big now, he out here beefing with Cristobal, bro.
He got real beef.
He got real beef with Cristobal.
Yeah, he took it off the internet. He in real life with it. Yeah, he in real life. Yeah.
Hey, that was a one-sided beef that was not initiated by me, okay? That was a one-sided beef. I was at ACC Media Day, and he decided he wanted to beef with me. That ain't my problem. Okay?
This is all real petty like that. He got these little grudges. He still talking about Notre Dame to this day.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I was just chilling. I was just like, hey, how do y'all finally break the seal and get to the big one? We never had talent like this before. And then he went on ACC Network, still doubling down on everybody thinks we were super talented, and we weren't. It's just like, all right, bro. Okay, I don't know what you want from me.
So he decided to come out with an older squad that averaged like 23 years old. That was the talent he was talking about.
You know. Here's
What's
the thing.
Projection on CJ Bailey though before you leave? He brought Miami. He brought Miami to North Carolina.
Hey, listen.
Shout out to you all pillaging the Miami program through the portal as well over there at North Carolina State. KG.
They was moving like they got a franchise guy. They said, "Who do you want?" CJ Bailey. See, I like that. They gave him the LeBron treatment. Who you want to bring? We'll
hey, man. Hey, let me tell you something, man. You never look a prize horse in the mouth is what they say. You know what I mean? And Miami came up there trying to tamper with our quarterback. So, well, come on down to Miami. It's the crib. It's home. You know, he practiced a little bit of double agency right there. A little bit of, international super spot business. They thought about letting him in the facilities. Next thing you know, he dropping little NC State letters on everybody. Chance, you're coming to NC State. Popo, you too? Because, you know, Popo Aguirre, his little brother was already at NC State. See, they don't even know. They ain't doing the knowledge. The Miami wasn't doing the knowledge. They thought inviting CJ would be a good thing. CJ said, I'm bringing the crib back with me. So, you know.
Smart. I think it's smart. I think that's what I'm saying. CJ.
Shout out to my boy CJ Bailey. He's the best recruiter on the squad.
The program has good relationship with players, if that's the case.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think the left muted you. I think he.
My fault. Once again, Lucky Lefty, pleased to have our brother Ken Gibbs. We promise, Notre Dame fans, you don't have to keep hitting us up. We promise we're going to have KG back on the show a lot. That's our brother.
Hey, I love being here, man. It's always a great time. Always a great time with y'all.
But no, in all seriousness, bro, man, super proud on the rewards you've received for all the great work.
I appreciate it.
You've been doing over at Locked On, the #1 podcast network. They say that proudly now at the beginning of every podcast.
Hey,
so you
man.
know when they say that the #1, you know what their contract looked like, Left, don't you? You know what that contract.
Hey! What Mitch said?
I'm not trying to put my mouth.
I'm broke, baby. I ain't got no.
They had them TV deals. We already know.
Hey, I'm trying to get like y'all boys, man. I'm trying to get like y'all. Ain't no whiskey hit me up yet. You know what I mean? All I got is gambling site and boner pills. That's the only people that's hitting me up right now. You know what I mean? So
gambling sites and boner pills is wild.
FanDuel and Rougiette, they just keep calling the line. Hey, man, we got this new thing, you know. Hey, listen.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna tell you though. This
That's the Shannon Sharp promo. That's the Shannon Sharp package.
But let me tell you, this how I knew I was getting big time. I told them because they made me read this ad that was for ball folks talking about, hey, you know, nobody wants to deal with the embarrassment of being bald. So I called up to the network. I said, hey, man, I ain't reading no more bald ads. Okay,
no more directed ads. No more direct. They said this would be great for your audience.
I said any show I'm on. I said any show I'm on, we ain't doing no more bald ads. Immediately, they stopped coming into my show. I said, all right, okay. I called one of the other dudes. I said, they cut off the ball ads on your show too? They said, no, I got to do them every day still. I said, oh, they listen to me. Oh, okay. I like it here. They like it here.
You could have got you a couple of deals off of that. Brand relationship.
Listen, I ain't coming wig. I ain't coming Beijing. I ain't coming none of that. God wanted me bald, so I'm bald. I'm happy with no hair. You know what I mean? I'm all right. I look good enough. You know what I mean? I look good enough. And if times get hard enough, I could always give me one of them big old women from Ohio. They'll take anything. So, you know, I'll be all right.
Hey, G, on the real, you might want to talk to Left. Let him be part of management because you know he secretly works for Clutch Sports. He secretly, you know.
I mean, hey, listen, you talking about the Notre Dame stimmy. I need that bronze stimmy. I need that Clutch Sports stimmy immediately. Okay? He made it so that Tristan Thompson don't got to work no more.
Yes, he doesn't let everybody know, but he secretly works for him.
How? He just a 22-time All-Star. How you not get behind something like that?
I mean, I'm behind him. He need to get behind me with the money. He need to get behind me, chasing me with the money a little bit.
I was just wondering because you always try to end the show. You like to end the show with like some LeBron news. You always find a way. Were you going to mention that old boy at Arizona decided to red shirt because he couldn't get on the court?
He's just taking his time, man. He's taking his time. Arizona's loaded.
He's loyal.
Arizona's loaded.
Hold on,
time out.
He's a loyal dude, KG. That's a good friend.
Arizona is loaded right now. So that's a tough team to try to.
Hey, listen. Bryce is getting his education. He getting his degree. You know, that's a strong accountant. You know what I mean? That's a strong accountant. Okay? Somebody going to have to take over for the LeBron side of the business, you know, the business side of LeBron when he decided to retire. Somebody got to take that over. And I think Bryce is an excellent candidate.
He's an excellent candidate. Yes, he is.
See, y'all thinking short term. This is the long term play. They're gonna get the masters for free. He gonna get his masters in accounting and entrepreneurship, and then Lighthouse and all that. Bryce gonna be all up.
He'll probably quit like after his junior year.
Let me tell you something.
Oh, that's crazy. Quit after. Why did you see that?
Hey, listen. No, he's not gonna quit because he got to get that free Masters. You know, LeBron still got the free version of what is it, Spotify or Pandora. He gonna keep getting that money. They're gonna pay for that Masters, and then the minute that Masters come out, he go, all right, I'm good, man. I'm good. You know what I mean? It's been real. He's
gonna hold a press conference and everything.
Exactly. My averaging 3 points at Arizona meant a lot to this university. Forever a Wildcat, but I think it's time for me to pursue other ventures. And then he gonna go and run the show for Pops, you know, because Bronny, he the athlete, but he ain't got that business acumen. Bryce, he gonna be the one. He gonna be the one running the show. You know what I mean? So Savannah and Brian could go chill on the beach in the Mykonos while Bryce run the show with the business. I see the vision. I see it.
Vision, yeah, okay.
That's my boy, Ken Gibbs. Man, we'll see you soon, bro. Man, you are a fool, boy. The boner pills has me down, bro. I'm gagging. Oh my God, man!
That's how you know you made it. All the top podcasts do the gambling and the boner pills. So you right on spot.
Hey man, I'm trying to get like y'all boys when I grow up, man.
Hey man, we'll talk to you soon, bro.
For sure.
Let's get Gibbs right here, Lucky Podcast. Hey boy, if I didn't want to break character. I really want to go off the screen. And when that fool said what he said, let's get to these GTBs on the way out. Left. Indy Mill fan said, "Did this season shake your faith?" And Coach Marcus Freeman, I'm a huge fan of CMF, but not getting into the playoffs and not getting at least one win in the first two games makes me wonder if he can win a natty.
Yeah, he's gonna be all right. I mean, it's still the window opportunities. It's just a matter of if he's able to just capture it in this window. I'm glad it's still open, but you know, some things got to fall in line, and you know, this is, I think, his greatest challenge this year because it's a lot of transitions, things that's probably gonna make him uncomfortable. But you know, with the schedule that we have, we should be able to get another opportunity for it. So I still think we have the right resources as a team to make a push, and that's really all you can ask for. I mean, because at that point, you're talking about one or two games that can make it a season difference, but that's in the playoffs. So yeah. I think the window's open because we can make it to the playoffs still. It's just a matter when we get there.
I got Jay Melvin. Shout out to you, Jay Melvin. I asked Brian this question. I'm going to ask both of you it. Sean and Left, if Notre Dame and Miami are both in the top 5 come November, will it be the most heated and emotional game at Notre Dame since 05 USC? No. I mean, how quickly we forget 2023 Ohio State.
Yeah.
And we were there in person. Like, the emotions of that game, especially with the way it ended and how heated it was, how angry the fan base was walking the streets. We heard some things, Left.
Yeah.
Walking out of that state, we heard some things from the fan base. Like some things that made us feel like, whoa.
Yeah.
Can Marcus recover from this?
Can he shake that?
Yeah, can he shake it? Like, that was a crazy emotional night for so many reasons. And wanted to just, this is why you have to listen to our show, because we're willing to have conversations that most other people aren't willing to have. Not because we're trying to say something about anyone in particular, but because we go through scenarios. We have conversations. So Hunter H., based upon our earlier conversation when you were talking about how the quarterback competition is going to play out over the next 2 years, he was talking about us, Left, saying all we did from Sam Hartman to Riley Leonard is call for us to get a quarterback. We finally get a quarterback that's not a one-year riddle, and all of a sudden, because it's CJ, it's a problem. First of all, we never said anything about CJ. In today's show, we literally said he's going to be a top 3 pick in 27. And if he comes back, or a top 3 quarterback pick in 27, and if he were to stay and leave in 28, he would be the number 1 quarterback. Did we not say that, Left?
Yeah.
Did we not say that?
Because it might be low.
Our reasoning for saying don't go to the portal is because in order to attract wide receivers, you need to be able to show that you can develop your own quarterback. And that is going to help Notre Dame close the gap. That's why we pushed for CJ or Kenny. And also, we saw when Sam Hartman and Riley Leonard were there, we literally saw that CJ and Kenny were better quarterbacks physically. We literally saw that. That's why we pushed when Sam Hartman and Riley Leonard were there. Because we knew the passing game would be instantly better with the 2 youngsters when they took over. That's why we pushed. That's why we pushed. And now to have a nuanced conversation on the back of that about not getting away from development at quarterback, but if you're going to do it in such a way where you're not necessarily getting a dude and you're collecting a bunch of guys in the quarterback room that need development. All quarterbacks need development, but name the surefire guy. CJ was considered a surefire guy. The moment he stepped on campus, they started laying the pathway for CJ Carr to be the starter. Who's that guy in the quarterback room behind CJ? Who? You're Notre Dame. You should be getting those type of guys. They're not. So in response to that, Malik says, hey, you can be a perfect candidate to go to the portal then if you're going to do it this way. So let's not misrepresent what we said. We know what we said. We stand on what we said. And I'll say it again. When it comes to the quarterback position over the last 3 years, no one, this dude has been right 100% of the time about how things are going to play out. Everything he said, he doesn't wait for fall camp. He doesn't wait for the season. Everything he said about Sam Hartman, Riley Leonard, CJ, he said CJ was going to be the starter. He said that. He said it's not the natural order, but he said they're going to start CJ. And they're going to put him above Kenny. He said that before the competition started, before the spring started. So let's not misrepresent what this dude consistently has been right about when it comes to quarterback evaluation, specifically at Notre Dame. So if he says, yo, I don't know about the way this quarterback room is looking behind CJ, it had nothing to do with CJ. So I can't allow you to play in our face and misrepresent what we stand on about what we said, why we said it, and why Malik Zaire has been right every year about the quarterback situation. And if he is confused about how this backup situation is going to work out, then you might want to take heed because he's been right. That's all I'm saying. He's been right. And nothing has changed about what we said. What is the 28 quarterback? What is the 28 quarterback? Let's see. He's trying to make it seem like we would now want to go to the portal just because you brought up a nuanced conversation based upon what you saw behind CJ.
Right.
Would you rather, just to answer, would you rather, just to make clear what we stand on, would you rather have a transfer quarterback? If I gave you one choice, a transfer quarterback or Jaden Wade coming to Notre Dame, which would you take, Left?
Jaden Wade.
Okay, thank you. No, nothing left to be said. All Left wants is dudes in the quarterback room. That's all he wants. Dudes through recruiting. Dudes. That's all he wants. He wants a room full of dudes. That's all he wants. Great show, Left. Ken GIBBS.
Absolutely.
Conversation around Teddy Jarrard. Shout out to Teddy, man. Huge on you reclassifying. The plans that you have to get into Notre Dame. Learn the playbook with your eyes on 2027. I actually like it. Because if I'm him, I see a pathway to the field myself. I just do. So I'm not mad at him making a jump. Some people Left. I'm not sure. I can't confirm it, but some people in the chat said that when he gets to campus, he's going to be 18.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, it just, it had to be something because it didn't make sense.
Yeah. And so be clear, we didn't say CJ needs to stay until 28. That's not what we said. We literally said he's a top 3 quarterback in the draft next year. We literally said it would be great for Gino Gadouli's resume if Kenny balls out at Kentucky and Kenny creeps into the back end of the first round. We said that. And we said CJ can be the dude, the number 1 guy for sure, if he stays to 28. And I don't think there's any Notre Dame fan that wouldn't want CJ Carr for the next 2 years. So, just to be clear about where we stand, what has been said in the past, what was said today, and the nuanced conversation that we had early in the show about how things may play out in the future. That's it. Chat, as always, fantastic. Dope. Your input. Man, I love the way you guys chide Kenny every time he's on the show and get under his skin. But he literally calls you guys the best fan base to interact with all the time. He loves you guys. We look forward to having him back on the show. Any closing thoughts Left?
Man.
I know I beat you to the punch on the Bryce stuff.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I'm excited just to see us get closer to spring ball. I know it starts pretty soon.
Yeah, it starts in March. Starts in the middle of March. I think right after Pot of Gold, which is March 17th every year. I think that's when you start having, because I'm going to talk to a couple of recruits and get the exact dates they're going to be visiting. But yeah, it's like they allowed everybody else to have their little junior days in January. And really Notre Dame is going to, I don't know if they're going to make the adjustment, because remember, they played well into January. So the junior day wasn't really big or as big as it usually was. And then Chad left in the immediate aftermath and really gave a half-hearted effort on that junior day. So they really had to scramble and make the spring practices really big for visits. And that kind of catapulted them into that official visit season and this 26 class. So maybe they're trying to reshape how they do things and be more dependent upon that March window of unofficial visits and really making their move with kids when they get them on campus while they're watching practices. It's a lot easier to do than to bring them in with really nothing to do in January in the cold with snow. I actually understand the move. I actually do. I get it. It worked last year, and Mike Martin probably feels like, man, let's try it again. I get it. Jay Melvin, man, give me a week. Give me a week. As far as they got a ton of kids coming in for visits. I know that for a fact. They don't have a ton of kids. It's just I'm trying to see. We know who the top 2 wide receivers are. Julius Jones Jr., Quentin Burrell. They'll both be on campus. They have some new wide receiver offers that went out. Defensive line, linebacker, defensive back, Ace Austin and Xavier Hassan seem to be solid on their commitment, but you still have to get them on campus. And then the board changes. The board changes with the new coaches coming in. So I actually put something up on the board with Aaron Henry and all of the players that he has recruited at Illinois that are big-time recruits on the board for Notre Dame coming in. So, and I'm actually preparing because there's a lot of crossover with Brian John Mary and the guys that he's going after, and who Max Bullock had already had on the board, and who Al Washington went out and visited. So,
cool.
Yeah, they'll be fine during the spring. They'll be fine. All right, Left. Great show. We'll see you tomorrow for another edition of the Lucky Lefty podcast. Continue to love each other, man. Stay warm wherever you are. If you're still dealing with inclement weather, our prayers out to you and your family. It's good to hear that Nashville and our Nashville crew and Tennessee crew are back up and they have power and things are getting better down there. But for the rest of the country, if you're still dealing with inclement weather that's really affecting your livelihood and your lifestyle, our prayers out to you. But most of all, make sure you continue to spin it different.